Salford on Sunday will hope for a second win of the season over league leader St Helens as they meet at 3 p.m. on Sky Sports Action. Yes, hello and welcome to the Mendahoes jungle on this beautiful June evening. We're building up to Castleford against Hull KR, and I am delighted to say John Wilkin and myself are joined by the Salford Red Devils head coach Paul Rowley. We will hear plenty more from him very shortly. Let's start it all off though by going to Jenna Brooks for a news roundup. Good evening, Jenna.
Yeah, good evening, Brian. I'll get on to the big news coming out of the Leeds Rhinos in a minute, but first I understand that it's been a very busy week for the Catalan Dragons. Elliot Whitehead has been linked with a return to the club for a while now. Well, I understand that he has signed on the dotted line and he will be once again calling Perpignan home from next season. What about Luke Keary? Will he retire? Won't he retire? Well, again, my understanding is he will join up with the Catalan Dragons from next season. I understand he has signed a 2-year deal. Okay, well, earlier this week, well, I could say yesterday, in fact, Leeds Rhinos announced that their head coach, Rowan Smith, had stepped down from his position with immediate effect. It was by mutual consent. So that leaves Scott Griggs and Chev Walker to take charge on a temporary basis. So the question is, who is going to replace Rowan Smith on a permanent basis? Well, last week I spoke about former Parramatta Eels head coach Brad Arthur. He's interested in coming over, as is Jason Demetriou. What about the man who joins you in studio? This is where it could get awkward. Brian, Paul Rowley. His name keeps popping up. He is, of course, the current Salford Red Devils head coach. Spoke to him before we went on air. He didn't really tell me much. Perhaps you and John Wilkin will have better luck as the night unfolds. But Ian Blease, a new sporting director, and CEO Gary Hetherington held their first press conference earlier today since Rowan Smith has stepped down. This is a little of what they had to say.
Talented coaches interest me. Paul will be one of them, obviously. You know, his name has been bantered about by you guys for a while now. So, but nothing's happened yet. We are concentrating on tomorrow, the old adage, one game at a time, which is what the boys are doing outside, and the coaching staff that are in the interim now, taking over, Chev and Grixie. So that'll be good for me to watch them. They're talented. So I've got no preconceived ideas who it will be. I'll do a thorough research on it all. Yes, applications are coming in as we speak, but I'll make sure we do the job properly.
And it is a big job over at AMT Headingley Stadium. Rowan Smith mutually consented on Wednesday afternoon. The timing found strange by many. Naturally, we're going to come to you and discuss this. In that interview, in that press conference, Ian Blease, man you worked with for many years at Salford, now at Leeds, was asked about you as a coach, and he said you're a great coach, and naturally we would be linked with and interested in great coaches like you. Has there been an approach to you or to Salford for you?
No, absolutely not. I think they've got a big week ahead. They've got a game tomorrow, got obviously an occasion tomorrow. And I've got a big week myself preparing my team for St Helens, and so there's been absolutely no contact at all. You've done well there, got 30 seconds out of a 20-minute interview, but it's a good selection.
Do you expect an approach?
I don't expect anything. So it's nice that I'm linked with any job. It's a privilege and an honour, but I don't expect anything. And yeah, you know, I'm looking forward to going training tomorrow.
Okay. We know that, and we know you're looking forward to prepare your team to take on St Helens on Sunday. But you understand the interest in both Leeds fans, Salford fans, and general rugby league fans will have in your future as a coach. You're contracted to Salford, but we already know, don't we, that you showed a willingness to leave Salford. Would that be a fair reflection of your interactions with Hull FC?
No, not really. A fair reflection would be that I had a sensible discussion and came to a sensible conclusion. And as I said at the time, I was more than happy to stay at Salford.
So just take us through that. Hull FC did the right thing. They approached Salford and said, can we talk to your head coach, Paul Rowley? You were willing to have a conversation with Hull FC about leaving Salford.
Yeah, I had a discussion. All were great, really professional, and so was Salford, and so was I. And had a discussion, and it's like anything else. If anybody in life or in business and in jobs and employment, somebody comes in, they headhunt, they have a discussion, and you do or you don't, and it's as simple as that, no more complicated.
Okay, it was rumoured to be logistically maybe that was the hurdle that you couldn't get over. It's a long way of travel from where you are, and you're happy and content where you're at. It's less of a distance to Salford, so people are now making the obvious conclusion. If you were willing to leave Salford and go, maybe consider going to Hull FC, consider it. And logistically, it was too much of a jump. Leeds wouldn't be so far.
Yeah, but there are hypothetical questions because, as your first point was, has there been any discussion or contact made, and the answer to that was no. So I think it's unhealthy to speculate on things that aren't factual, and that's not factual. So I won't speculate.
Which part isn't factual?
There's been any contact? It's just a hypothetical question, and you know, so it's not good for me. It's not healthy for me, or certainly not the group of lads that I represent. So I just won't go down that road. I thought Bleasy dealt with it pretty well there, so I'll follow his suit.
Okay, before I bring John in on this, would you then be able to say to that group of players, indeed the Salford fans, that you will be Salford coach for the remainder of this year?
Absolutely. I've got no other reason not to. It would be a strange thing not to be able to say that. So, you know, tomorrow's a different day. The day after that's a different day. And I could pose the same questions at you, the people who are filming us at this minute. That's just life, isn't it? So, you won't let me off the hook. I know you won't, Brian.
You brought a great cricket bat.
Yeah,
you're knocking them back over the wall.
And I'll keep doing that. But I always learn to stick to facts, and that's what I'll always do. And the facts remain. There's been no discussions, and I'm committed to coaching my team against St Helens at the weekend.
John.
Yeah, a fact for us is, though, that Ian Blease was the steward that oversaw the signing of Paul's new contract. He now finds himself at Leeds, so it's very understandable. If there was a man who knew how to engineer a move for Paul contractually with clauses or whatnot, it would be Ian Blease. So it seems so too convenient almost.
Yeah, what I would say is, I think engineering a move, I don't think that's how Ian Blease works. It's certainly not how I work. I think anything in life, if we were doing anything, it would be upfront and honest and transparent. And so, regardless of what's in contracts, still, I'll be honest, I won't even know what's in it myself. So, because my motivation's fulfilment, and I'm fulfilled where I am at Salford. I've got no dramas with that. So, but like anybody in life, like I said before, and in employment and in work, then you have a discussion, and it's certainly a privilege if you're having a discussion with a club like, well, previous in Hull, and certainly if Leeds Rhinos were to pick up the phone, then absolutely.
We thank you for your candour in response to your own personal situation. We talked briefly about Rowan Smith. Did the decision to part company with Rowan Smith by the Leeds Rhinos surprise you? And indeed, did the timing of it on a Wednesday afternoon surprise you in any way?
Well, you could clearly see that there's a lot of noise around it, and the supporters there's a little bit of unrest, and media were all over it as well. So I wouldn't say I was surprised, because obviously I read headlines and see enough to know that there's pressure there. But what I will say is, for me, when I saw and watched the Hull v Leeds game last week, I felt very sad. I felt very sad for Rowan, because he's a human being. I felt sad for Tony, who was in between you two last week.
He's well able to look after himself.
Yeah, I know, but I thought it was a tough position, and it's sad because we're talking about someone's employment, somebody who's here with the family, somebody who's committed, somebody who loves the sport and the group that he represents. So I only ever feel sadness in them situations. I would never, ever, sit there licking my lips at the prospect of taking another bloke's job.
OK, Paul, thank you very much. OK, let's focus on tonight's game between Castleford and Hull KR. Well, just 3 wins and a draw from their opening 14 games means there hasn't been much for the consistently faithful crowds at the Jungle to celebrate. But last Friday's 2-point defeat to Wigan have given them hope that this side can deliver a much improved second half of the season. Castleford's 3 wins have come here at their home ground, a place they tonight will try to make rather uncomfortable for the visitors. Well, Hull KR coach Willie Peters has been here once before with his side, emerging just with a 12-7 victory last season. He's also spoken this week of the familiar foe factor. His men will shortly face some former teammates and an assistant coach who will be highly motivated and with, he suggests, a point to prove. The Robins won 3 on the bounce. Can they now make it 4 and move level at the top with Wigan and St Helens? So we've got Hull KR third from top, we've got Castleford third from bottom. ostensibly, this looks like a mismatch. But you got a sneaky suspicion that it may not be that comfortable for the visitors.
No, I think Castleford they've topped the league at having the best recruitment mid-season. I thought the recruitment's been fantastic. Everybody's made a significant difference, and the confidence as a result of that and getting some wins on the board has lifted tenfold. I think they've been great for the last 4 or 5 games, and obviously a couple of blips, but they're a different prospect now. They're a good side. They can certainly attack. And yeah, they're a tough opposition.
Okay, and that's in Craig Lingard's first season as head coach of the Castleford Tigers. Here he is with Jenna.
Yeah, thanks, Brian. Last week, Castleford didn't get the win against the World Club champions, but they certainly put up a fight. What elements from that performance are you hoping to see tonight?
I think the defensive elements that we've not seen at times this season. I thought we were really dogged, and you know, we fought for the 80 minutes. We talked about our mid-season review that we want to be a team that's difficult to beat and a team that doesn't go away for the 80 minutes, which have not been this year. I thought we certainly showed a lot of signs of that last week, and that's the consistency that we're looking for this week.
Well, your opposition, Hull KR, have won 10 from 14. Castleford have lost 10 from 14. So tonight, are you confident you can defy the odds?
We're always confident, you know. We're prepping as if we're going to win every single game, you know. So our guys are confident based on the performance that they had last week, and you know, we're not resting on our laurels. We know that at the bottom end of the table, and Hull KR are a real good team, and they're gritty and they're determined themselves. So we need to be 100% on our game today to have any chance.
Craig Lingard, all the best.
Cheers, thank you.
I want to turn us into a team that's tough to beat. From what you saw in their defeat to Wigan, would they be on the right track?
Yeah, I thought there was some green shoots of what a Castleford team can look like in the future, and their approach to defending against the champion team in Wigan. Now, you know, defence is an attitude thing. You don't need to spend heavily on the salary cap to show commitment and care to defend. And also, you don't need to have squeaky clean systems. I thought Castleford scrambled incredibly well. Even when they didn't get it right, they had numbers around the ball and just disrupted Wigan's momentum by all buying in and actually moving with some pace. I thought Kane Robb led that up, but it's so important that you maybe come out of defensive systems sometimes, Paul, and just make big tackles.
Yeah, absolutely, and we spoke off air, and I spoke previously last week about this process and structure in your defensive system, and that's really important that you stick to the rules. However, the rules can sometimes be an excuse for, you know, doing your accomplishment, but maybe not doing that extra effort to just help a teammate out, and being connected is so important.
Yeah, and even in the Marshall try at the end, they were just scrambling and had people around the ball. I've not seen that from Castleford this year, Brian. I've not seen that enough from Castleford. So the challenge is replicating that, isn't it? Because they've done it one week. Well, the champion teams do that every week, don't they?
Well, absolutely. And picking up on that point you made, and indeed made after victory at the Halliwell Jones Stadium against Warrington, very impressed by your side's defence. Maybe not winning every battle, but the point you were making is we ultimately won the war. It doesn't matter sometimes how it looks, as long as we can achieve it. Take us through some effective defence, if you will, maybe if not the prettiest of defence.
Yeah, absolutely. It doesn't need to look pretty, does it? And I think you've seen when you get on this clip here, we've defended 3 sets on our line already. Ethan Ryan just makes the extra effort. The ball's gone over the top. Defensively, we're getting up high on edges and making them run as opposed to that. Everybody's moving on the inside. You can see we're connected there as Dufty just skims the line. That's what Warrington do so well. And OKR do it so well as well, so Castleford would have to replicate that. And as a foreman, foreman's working incredibly hard. John, you as a foreman.
Yeah, what I was impressed with was just the speed of movement. Sometimes we neglect something as simple as how quick your players are moving to adjust the position and to get into a better position. I thought your scramble and the speed at which your players moved and adjusted was incredible.
Well, you talk about keep your feet moving, don't you? Everybody says keep your feet moving, otherwise it'll find you. In rugby league, the ball finds you. If you take a shortcut, it'll find you. But this 4 or 5 sets culminates in Laffey putting himself in a position to learn from previous, ganging on the 2-man, and he gets an intercept. Doesn't run very far, he's got some old legs there, but 5 sets in, he's done a great job.
Yeah, how good. Tim Laffey's incredible, isn't he? He does centres for you. Nenny McDonald and Tim Laffey, just magic, Brian, they're real.
Just address this point. Castleford's first games in Super League, first 7 games in Super League, they play 7, they lose 6, they win 1. They concede an average of 228 points, an average of 32.5 points a game. Their next 7 games, they concede 188, an average of 27. So a converted try, better defensively. However, 5 of their games in that first 7 were against top 6 opposition, and only 3 against top 6 opposition now. So is it a Castleford Tigers side, as you say, improving, or have they been playing weaker opposition in the last 7 matches?
I would say they definitely improved. I think regardless of the opposition, obviously they played Wigan last week, I think they've definitely improved. I know that from fact. We beat them in the first game. We played them. It was a tough contest. They got us when we came to the jungle here. They beat us. So they've improved no end for me, and absolutely on the right track within their journey. Not as advanced as OKR, but they've certainly improved significantly.
Yeah, I was concerned for Castleford coming into the season because I felt it was an aged squad, a leggy squad. I couldn't see them really competing with teams, you know, in quick, fast-flowing games. But they can defend. They've showed that. But it's the application of that defensive mindset week in and week out that I think could be a stretch for Castleford. I had a chat with Danny Maguire before the game, and he said, it's all well and good doing it one week, but as we all know, it's replicating that week in, week out, when physically you're not quite right, when your best players aren't quite there, and there's a question mark of whether Cass can do that. We'll see against Hull KR. We're really going to challenge them here.
Yep, consistency precedes brilliance. Can they deliver up a same defensive performance that they put in round 14? We will shortly find out, as will Willie Peters, the head coach of Hull KR.
Yeah, Willie's winger, Ryan Hall, has been in the headlines this week, of course. He is the record try scorer in Super League with 248. Now, he doesn't like talking about it, but I'm interested, does his teammates?
Yeah, they do. They were really happy for him last week. You know, we had a great win, but it was all about Hawley. You know, it was a night that he'll never forget. He was with his kids, his wife, Vicky, so it was a special moment, and his career speaks for itself.
Well, just looking ahead to tonight's game, your opposition have won just 3 games this season. You go in as heavy favourites. So what kind of attitude do you turn up with here tonight?
We need to be ready to play. I mean, you look at last week, obviously took Wigan right to the wire. Their last 5 games, I think they've won 3, or they've won 2 or 3. So they've improved a hell of a lot. We come here, obviously, their home ground, so we need to be on tonight, and we plan to do so. Looking forward to seeing us, you know, put in a professional performance.
Willie, all the best.
Thanks, Jenna. Cheers.
Now, you've had an interesting history with Hull KR in season 2024. You beat them in round 3 over at your place, and then came unstuck in a major way in the Challenge Cup against them as well. 4th place finish for them in 2023. They're in 3rd place at the moment and aiming for that, or at least that and higher. Are they a better and more rounded side and squad in this season than last?
Yeah, I think so. I think, like I said earlier, I think all the good players, your Minchella's in particular, I'm a big fan of Minchella. I think they've progressed another year forward. They've learned. They've added Tyrone May there, who's a fantastic halfback who complements Mikey Lewis, who obviously breaks tackles and runs. He's the bit of chaos. He's the X factor. So I think they're a really well-rounded side.
Okay, we're going to develop this point as well. You take us through the running threat of Tyrone May and Mikey Lewis before we come back to Paul.
Yeah, these 2 halfbacks pose a real unique threat in many ways, because usually as a defender you'll be concerned about what's in front of you and not maybe what's 2 or 3 spaces to the left or right of you. Well, Mikey Lewis and Tyrone May just force you to miss tackles, and as a defender you have to be accountable, maybe 2 or 3 defenders inside where they end up, and that's a challenge. And Mikey Lewis does it exceptionally well, and his combination with Tyrone May sets up a try here for Peter Hiku, but it's the chaos it causes and how tiring that is to defend, Paul.
Absolutely, and I think they do it in different manner. Like you say, Tyrone May's got a lot of tempo to his game. His ratio from run to pass is probably more of a passer than a runner, but when he does run, he's such a big, strong body, whereas Mikey Lewis is a jack-in-the-box. He's going to take you on. You're worried about his running threat all the time, so then the space created for the pass as well.
Yeah, you've got to have such a good tackling day when you play these 2, because Mikey Lewis is so strong, he'll bump you off, he'll shrug you off, and then Tyrone May's got the smarts and the subtlety of hands to break you down. I really like the combination. Whenever they've not played well, those 2 have been anonymous in games. Whenever they've played well, those 2 have had their fingerprints over everything decent that they've done.
Could I offer up another angle to that? Whenever Hull KR haven't played well, Elliot Minchella hasn't been to the fore, because Willie Peters' stated aim for Mikey Lewis this year was to turn him into more of a controlling half. No question marks about his running game. Absolutely, that is there. Maybe perhaps the control of a game isn't yet there. Minchella brings a lot of that.
Yeah, I would 100% agree with that. I think they play wide of the ruck, so when they hit the loose forward, it's usually a long pass. So if Minchella's not there and it's Hadley, the movement's not as square. I think Minchella being at loose forward, he really plays square, really preserves space for his edges, and he's the conduit, and he services the 2 players we've just been mentioning.
We saw Hull KR destroy Wigan at Craven Park, and they did it through Elliot Minchella, and they did it through completely bypassing the middle players for Wigan. width of pass, playing outside into the 3-4-man area through Elliot Manchella, who can use his big men up, and it's an incredibly effective way to attack. Having that threat through the middle of the field, quite simply, puts defences on the heels. A lot of help in the defensive line comes from the middle to go and help the edge. Well, his key asset is stopping that from happening, Brian.
In the halves, if we go back to Mikey Lewis and Tyrone May, is it a strange one to throw it out there? Is there a lack of control?
I wouldn't say so. I think they've got a lot of control. Tyrone May in particular, he's got a great kicking game as well, so they've got the full box of tricks. And like we said, I think Mikey Lewis complements him brilliantly.
Yeah, Tyrone's kicking game would probably be a fair way of reflecting this sometimes, and he can kick a ball. On the last tackle, it would appear that he's decided at the very last moment what kick he's going to put in, and indeed that he's going to kick. That's what I'm talking about. There doesn't seem to be so much planning in it.
Yeah, maybe. They're instinctive sort of players, aren't they? They've got Niall Levels there at fullback now as well, so that the spine seems to be more settled than probably at the beginning of the season. So you might see that composure, if you like, and building into that sort of play grow as the season goes on. Now they've got that settled spine in place.
Yeah, they can roll in and out of structure. That's what's exciting. They've got structure, but they're quite happy out of it.
Okay, all right, thanks. My thanks to John Wilkin and to Paul Rowley. More for them after this break. We are nearing kickoff here of round 15 of the Betfred Super League. It's all going to start at the Mendahoes Jungle in Castleford, where the Tigers take on a Robin side looking for a win and a place right near the top of the table. Castleford and Hull KR meet for the first time in season 2024 for the Tigers. A test of the theory they are slowly improving as we move past the halfway point. For the third place Robins, a win here would see them go joint top of the Betfred Super League table. Let's bring you the sides in round 14. Castleford went down 10-8 to the champions Wigan here at the Jungle. They have made 2 changes. There's no Liam Watts and no Nixon Putt. So in comes the experienced Joe Westerman into the front row. Sam Hall comes onto the bench in a 17 that contains no fewer than 5 former Robins. Well, Hull KR's last outing was a 32-6 win over Huddersfield. It did come at a cost, though. They have lost James Batchelor with a hamstring injury and Matt Parshell with a shoulder injury. There's no Jai Whitbread, so Jack Brown is drafted into the front row. George King comes in on the bench, and the next Castleford Tiger, Danny Richardson, comes onto the bench for coach Willie Peters. 2 sides that can entertain. Paul Rowley, 2 fullbacks who on their day are electric.
Yeah, absolutely. Niall Levels has been a standout performer in Super League for several years, but I think Niall Levels has an ability to go through the ruck as well as around the ruck. I think he scores a lot of tries in and around, back in against MA defenders and support. He's a fantastic player, glides across the ground. Texoy, well, he's more of a bit of a maverick, isn't he? But what I will say about Texoy is a confidence player, clearly. He's come to Castleford, he's got his confidence, and he's doing extremely well. He's been a shrewd signing.
And scored a sensational try against Wigan. You've set down the challenge, John Wilkin, pre the break about Castleford. They've got to provide a defensive performance, the match of last week. The challenge for Willie Peters and the Robins is what?
Well, it's to just stick to their processes. Whatever Willie Peters has got this team doing, it's working. There's visible improvement on the team. I think defensively Hull KR are now a much more difficult nut to crack. But they've got to trust and play through Elliot Manchella and play with the confidence and the flair that they've had. Look, if Hull KR are dead set wanting to be a champion team, they've got to win here. They've got to come here. And it can't be knocked off the stride by a Cast team who's just shown a bit of promise last week.
But to paraphrase Tony Smith when he's with us, they're all hard games.
Oh, they are all hard games. I'll just back up what John said about breaking Hull KR down. The thing is with all champion sides, you saw it in Leeds when they had a glory era, St Helens. When you've got through the line, it's not over. Hull KR have got a real good ability to get back, to scramble, to chase, and they've got the speed to do it as well.
Okay, you have set the scene perfectly, gentlemen. Willie Peters awaits, as do the 2 sides in the tunnel here at the Mendahoes Jungle. Elliot Manchella and Joe Westerman, seconds away from leading out their sides into battle in round 15 of the Betfred.
Lovely break here, big chance, support all around, and it's going to be a try for Alex Mellor. Lovely kick over the top, fantastic finish under real pressure. Joe has got to pull through the work, goes for Hall. Can he get through again? 2 minutes for Ryan Hall, and now he stands alone.
Here come the gladiators of the Betfred Super League. A big game for both sides. Paul Rowley, who emerges victorious from this one? Prediction time.
Yeah, I think OKR by 8 points.
John.
Yeah, I think OKR will be too strong. I'm hoping to see the same from Castleford, but I just can't see anything but Willie Pearsman winning here.
A reminder, Castleford did push the champions all the way in round 14. Can they do the same to a side sitting in third? You'll find out now in the company of our commentary team as we throw to Terry O'Connor and Dave Woods.
Thank you, Brian. Well, absolutely fascinating watch here tonight, potentially. As you say, Hull Kingston Rovers with a chance to go joint top with Wigan and St Helens of the Super League table. My goodness, they would have taken that right at the start of the year. Aaron Moore, referee here tonight, by the way. James Vella is our video referee. So can Hull Kingston Rovers continue their progress in terms of that upward trajectory? But what about Castleford? Well, it's probably unrealistic to talk about them as being playoff potentials, but as the guys were saying in the build-up, they are turning their season around. They are putting wins together. They are looking better. And you think that they could have a big say in those playoffs, not in terms of them getting there, but in terms of noses that they could bloody in the next 13, 14 weeks ahead of those playoffs beginning. And it starts tonight. Hull Kingston Rovers have got to be on their guard here tonight, Terry O'Connor.
Absolutely. You look at the last 5 games that Cass have played, and yeah, they've only got 1 win, but they drew 1. They got ever so close last week, and it was just how much courage that they played with. They've got to make sure that they can kick on, really. They're up against the side in Hull KR. There's only Saints in the competition that scored more points, so Cass's defence needs to be absolutely on point.
Here's Horn out of dummy half. A quick pick up there from Milnes as well, who's one of those who's been on the other side, so to speak. Both teams containing several who played for the opposition tonight. Westerman picks himself up. They're on the end of the 6 here. It's not a great advancement in that opening set. Milnes with a kick and Evans with a safe catch again. Interesting to see what kind of reception he gets here tonight, because he didn't leave a big impression because of injury, didn't he, last year? But he's having a great season with Rovers this year. And Ryan Hall's lost that ball.
Well,
Ball's disappeared.
That's a great defensive set. That's how you want to start a game, isn't it? But the first set of 6, when you've got the ball, get to the kick. The next set of 6, when you're defending, try and force an error. On probably one of the most aggressive players in the competition, if you're talking about the back 3 and who returns the ball.
Well, history maker Ryan Hall, it seems every week he's got another record to break. Last week it was top of the tree for Super League tries, of course, 248. Another 2 will take it to 250 and 1,000 points in Super League. But he's also climbing the all-time ladder as well, which makes him one for the ages. It's going to be Milnes who will feed this. Milne picks it out, and Miller looking left, and Wood now with an initial carry. And a chance for Castleford to build here inside their opponent's half with this second hold of the ball that they've got. Miller taking it forward. Horn again, having a little look around. Miller's there to offer that pivotal road. Here he comes. Dummies to Griffin, pops it back to Milnes again, and Texoy with quick hands, and suddenly they're on the trebles with Gary, but well, not only stumbled, there was a forward pass as well in there. I think the touch judge called that. So all that excitement that was building is suddenly punctured.
Yeah, there was an obstruction. You can see when they get the ball, the men running through. They're trying to create space and give their outside back some opportunities. But unfortunately, they just collide with the Hull KR defender, take him out the game, which makes it harder for the edge defenders to play. You can see, look, he just goes straight into him there. Al-Zakim.
Well, it's the nature of this ground that you might be defending at one moment, but then with one kick of the ball, you're suddenly attacking, which is exactly what Hull Kingston Rovers find themselves in position here. May with that pass away, Sue with a surge, and 5 plays to go. And Hull Kingston Rovers 40 metres away nominally. Here's Brown, Jack Brown. Not played many for Hull Kingston Rovers since his switch from Hull FC. It's with May, a ball back on the inside for Hadley. Quickly in is Lytton, who's Going to switch it back left to Minchella, the man who can make things happen, and he's going to take them on himself here. Elliot Minchella, but down he goes. Couple of plays to go here still for Kingston Rovers. Couple of chances to set things up. Lytton to the middle. One play now. 15 away. So what do they do from here? It's hauled left to Mikey Lewis, who sticks it up in the air. Gary's underneath it, and with a little help from a teammate, is in a safe position, but I think he's pushed back into the in-goal area. He is, and it's a drop out underneath the sticks.
Yeah, you're right. He deals with that. Gary help from his teammate Corey Hall, who just manages to get in between him and Ryan Hall, which buys him a bit of time to catch that ball cleanly. As soon as he catches it, though, you can see he's just manhandled by Ryan Hall.
Well, this stadium has got its critics, hasn't it? And all the talk about a future, a modernisation. But I tell you what, on a Thursday night with the sun out, there is a bit of old-fashioned good fun to be had here, isn't there?
I love coming to this ground. The old traditional grounds are the best. They've got plenty of character and plenty of atmosphere as well.
Brown with a carry. So 5 to go from here. And Lytton's there again. They numbered up 4 on the left, but they've gone right to May, who helps it on to Sue. And Sue with a bruising run again. So bumpers up, but Castleford deal with that. And now it's with Lytton, who's going to look to the middle again. Minchella's come back on the dummy. It's back with Brown, and Brown just setting up a nice position here. Nice platform for Castleford to work with. Just the left of centre. Lewis, big left foot step from him, but waiting for him was El Zakim. And just as well as Lewis looking to dance his way through potentially there. Back it comes to May. And here it is with Evalds. And Evalds going wide, but Hiku can't take that pass in. And a cheer of relief as much as anything, because the pressure lifted from that Castleford line.
Yeah, but you've got to say as well, though, Dave, that the way that they're defending, every time that Hull KR are trying to shift the ball, they're trying to find space. You just look how connected that defensive line is. No one's panicking, no one's jumping the gun, pulling the trigger, trying to break down Willie Peters' men. And he's more or less saying that we've got to be a bit more direct. We've got to stop that defensive line from sliding.
What have you made of Castleford on the whole? What mark would you give them out of 10 at this stage of the season? Bearing in mind, they've got so many new faces. I was sitting down with Ian Proctor earlier, and he's been in charge of a side that has seen 17 debuts this year,
well,
Castleford.
I like what Craig Lingard's doing. I like what he did at Batley as well, and the way he's building the team with the rest of the staff here, like trying to buy and find new faces, young players who come in who are really hungry to succeed in Super League. And you can see he's trying to stamp his authority on the side and making sure that if you get beat well, but you don't get beat by a lack of effort.
Listen, ball back on the inside for Griffin. Horn stands and waits. He'll be enjoying the sunshine here, warming his brow as he picks it up and goes to Westerman again, who just tries to take them on. Yes, he has. Sharp eyes from Terry and the touch judge.
You know, he missed last week, but he's a welcome return, isn't he? Especially when Liam Watts isn't playing. When he goes to ground, he fumbles that. Whether there's hands in there from Tanginoa, who just has a little push on it. But they'll be disappointed, you know, not to get to the kick.
So again, it has gifted Kingston Rovers possession inside their opponent's half here. They're settling into this game. They're having the best of it territorially so far, no doubts. Can they build again? Tyrone May just waits patiently for that scrum to be settled. Lytton goes wide to Hiku, and Hiku tries to bounce them off, and here they go. 5 to go from here. Kingston Rovers. And again, Castleford back on their heels. Lytton, Headley, who's in and down, and Lytton, his arms are wide, and he gets his appeal granted by the referee because he says 6 again. Another set given as Minchella carries it forward. So they can reset, reassess, and with plenty of tackles in the bag to do that. Lytton to May. Pops it back to Tanginoa, who comes in on the angle. There's a bump in the way in the shape of George Hill, who deals with him, but Lytton scoots away quickly. It's back now with Opacic, who's reaching for that line, but enough defensive bodies in there. And I think as he's tried to reach and put it out, he's lost the ball.
Yeah, well, the temptation was just too much, wasn't it, from Opacic? He cuts back in on the angle. He's trying to get over the line. He sees the line in front of him, tries to ground the ball, And I think is it Tex Hoy that just puts his body in front, gets his knee in front as he's just trying to get the ball over the line and forces that error. You know, Cass just go about the business, but they've got to make sure they get the yardage plays right here without making mistakes. Again, get to your kick and see what you can do defensively.
Having to start from deep again. Their confidence no doubt lifted by that performance against Wigan last week, albeit Wigan just a week out from a Wembley win, but Castleford going down just by the handful of points. So they were tested. And they've had some notable wins of late. Paul Rowley's Salford a few weeks back when they were on fire at times. Here's a penalty.
Yeah, Sue just goes over the top of Alex Mellor. Alex Mellor signed a new 2-year deal last week. I thought he was outstanding in the games that he's played this year. Look at him, the way he rides a tackle. Sue comes over the top trying to take him down. That left edge is really strong with him and Jacob Miller. Look at that, the way he gets rid of Tyrone May when he braces for contact.
So Mills, the former Robin, will find touch, and Castleford will start just about on that halfway line with an assault on their opponent's territory. Liam Horn dances in. Another set again here. Back on the inside comes George Hill. Still only 19 years of age, George. Still a babe in arms in terms of Super League seniority. The no-look pass from Miller. What else? And taken on by Wood. So they're creeping closer, but it is only a creep at the moment. They need bigger yards here. They need a break. Mills puts it back to Hoy. Hoy wide again to Gary, who thought about the outside and then saw the shadows closing in because Ryan Hall looming large ahead. And he has to take that tackle. Back to the middle again. Mills once more. Now Westerman. Westerman back to Horn. Out to Miller. They've gone from right, they're going left, and Miller is going down. Iku put the shoulder in. Well, it looks as though the ball had gone forward. The referee's quite happy it went backwards. No touch, because it's still the same number in the tackle count. It's back again from Mellor. Mellor goes down, and one play. This is as close as Castleford has been so far tonight. Horn dances left. Miller jabs it into that in-goal area, and it's a recovery, but a concession by Broadbent of a dropout underneath the sticks.
Yeah, well, Jacob Miller knew exactly what he wanted on that last play. Another set of 6. Well, Mills was set up for it on the right-hand side with Corey Hall and Jason Gary. Gary screaming for that ball to go in here, but it's another set of 6. It's another look at what Hull KR's defensive line's going to do and whether they'll crack or not.
Admirable patience, but you need the skills to execute, and that little kick, that delicate kick from Miller was right on the money. So all things being equal, Castleford get it back again for another set, and inside their opponent's half again. Westerman will lead the charge. Kingston Rovers defence moving up to meet. Horn again. Mills helps it on its way. Another bounce forward from Hill.
Yeah, nice carry that from the youngster.
It's with Horn and Miller. Mr. Westerman, who spins it away, and here comes Mills. Thought he'd seen a bit of a gap, but it closes quickly enough and puts him down. So Horn waits once more. Griffin with a short pass. El Zakim is going to be held up, but only a couple of strides away. Real pressure here from Castleford. Horn's done full 360. Then goes wide. Hall, Corey Hall back again. Trying to get the arms out, but Kingston Rovers defence is responsive and does well. Last play in the set. Mills again will look for the kick. Up it goes. A chip, the carry. Superbly done. Superbly done. A great leap from Sam Wood to score, but the kick there again was placed on a sixpence. Wonderful skills, and Cass get their reward.
Yeah, well, Cass, they took that confidence that they got last week against the Warriors and the champs into this game. The way that they've started, a bit shaky at the start, a couple of set restarts that they gifted Hull KR, but the defence kept them out. And look at this, a nice little kick from Ron Mills. He gets it up to the former Hull KR man in Sam Wood, who spent 2 seasons in a KR jersey, and he comes down with it, and it's a big start for Cass. They would have talked about all week about playing Hull KR. They're playing one of the top teams in the competition. The start was so important for them to build on, get the fans on side with them as well, and you just look at that take. He wasn't challenged. That'll disappoint Willie Peters. It was a clear take from Sam Wood.
Well, they've got such height on that left-hand side, haven't they? Wood and Senior together. They're an obvious target for a kick to the corner.
Absolutely, and that's why you've got to do something, whether you go up in the air and you challenge him, you're trying to nudge him off the ball. You can't just give him a free play where he's the only man who's actually jumping to contest for the ball.
So here comes the kick predictor. All the technology pumped into this. Reminder, it's the player's own previous record. The difficulty of the kick, the weather conditions, there's artificial intelligence woven in there as well. And he's got about 2/3 of a chance to put this one over. Full concentration from Rowan Mills. Left-footed, strikes it well, and you can tell by the body language of the Rovers fans behind the sticks, who did not move an inch, that he was going to nail that, and he has. And Castleford now lead by 6 points to 0.
Yeah, well, you just look at the set-up play here. Rowan Mills, he screamed for it a couple of sets before to go for that high kick, the crossfield kick. He does it on that occasion to the delight of the Cas fans, and that's what it means to Sam Wood. Like I said, spent 2 seasons at Hull KR. Certainly enjoyed that moment.
It's one of those skills that perhaps we don't talk about too much. But the precision of a kick like that, it's like a golfer's precision, isn't it? You know exactly where it's going to land. Short of that goal line, so there's no chance of it being snapped up and a 20 metres tap out, and a real challenge for the oncoming runners.
Well, it's always more difficult for the team that's defending, because they've got to jump up straight. The team that's attacking for the ball, they've got to run up. They can jump higher and have that bit of momentum going forward.
6-0, 15 minutes played. Castleford looking to come again here. Kingston Rovers looking to thwart their ambition if they can. Westerman with the latest of those carries, and Horn waits a dummy half. Looking who fancies it next. It's going to be El Zakeen, who flicks out a lovely little offload, and Hall keeps it going again. Back to Mills, who's being sought but not engaged by Brown, but then Adley's there to wrap things up and make sure it's not going any further. Horn left. You can see that Miller's behind the 40-metre mark here, and Ryan Hall just manoeuvring himself into position to make sure there's no danger in that, and giving Kingston Rovers a decent start to the set here.
Yeah, well, that's the last thing you want to do, kick the ball straight into the arms of Ryan Hall. A big man that he is, you want to kick the ball behind him and make him turn, try and get the ball off the ground instead of in his arms. And look at that, 3 carries straight into Cass's half.
Here's Broadbent, who's come across to have a go, lift a bit of the labours of the rest of his teammates. It's taken in by Sue. 2 tackles to go, 30 metres to cover. Minchella pops it back on the inside. Here's Sue once more. Back to May, and now Lewis with a stretch and a skip, and dummies to Opachik, and Lewis is off, and ball back inside for Opachik, and that is magical. Magic Mikey strikes again. Very little on when he had that, but a dummy, a twinkle and a step, and he's laying it on a plate for his teammate Opachik with a quick response for Kingston Rovers.
Well, that's the run threat that he is, isn't it? Mikey Lewis. Like I said, Opachik scores the try, and he looked pretty passive as well in this set of 6. Look, he was just passing the ball to no one really taking control of it. Mikey Lewis gets hold of the ball, bit of footwork, gets on the outside of Rowan Mills, and then he's got the support on the inside. You want to make sure that you got your shape. Look at that. He's just going through the motion here, really, Hull KR. And it's only when Mikey Lewis gets hold of the ball, he accelerates, he steps off his right foot, goes through the gap, knowing that he's got support on the inside. And that's a Mikey Lewis speciality. The explosion that he's got beats Hall, beats Mills, and the support is there for all to see.
Well, I wonder if he's going to be added to his England caps next week, because England, of course, that international in France, in Toulouse, just over a week's time. Sean Wayne, the England coach, is saying he's going to look at younger players, the stars of the future. But Mikey Lewis drops into both camps, really, doesn't he? Star of today and star of tomorrow. And you'd rather think that he would really fancy a go again in an England shirt. This should be fairly straightforward. Right in front of those sticks. Here he goes, and over it goes, and it's 6 points apiece in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, he's a player that likes taking on defence, isn't he? He's a robust, half-back, certainly Mikey Lewis, and he gets this ball, like I said, the explosion that he's got. Look at him bouncing across that step, the acceleration, goes through, and as soon as he goes through, he knows that he's creating a 2-on-1 with the full-back. And as soon as he does that, Opicic just comes on the inside, and then all of a sudden, they get an easy 6 points, really.
So all square again. Just a sense that this could be a high-scoring game here tonight, Terry.
Absolutely. Like I said, like Hull KR, we've seen them post big points, big scores all year. Castleford getting into the rhythm at present.
You saw it, or you can see rolling along the bottom of your screen what we've got to come this weekend. And if you watch nothing else, then make sure, well, watch it all. But if you watch nothing else, make sure you watch that Leeds League game tomorrow. The tribute again to Rob Burrow back at Headingley. And that will be very touching and very warm, I'm sure. Lots of NRL action as well this weekend, and big match. Finishing it all off, Salford against St Helens, but here comes Litton again, and Minchella looking to weave inside and outside. Senior lost him, didn't know where he'd gone. Was looking for shadows and couldn't find them, and Minchella's over to score, and Rovers have done it now twice in quick succession. And they have a lead of 10 points to 6.
Well, that's it in the blink of an eye, isn't it? You know, Jez Litton always sniping from dummy half, and he's looking at what markers are doing. If they're going to make a wrong decision, if they're going to make an overread from the marker and an over chase, which I think they did, and Jez Litton just scoots up the middle of the field, and Elliot Minchella, what a great leader, took over the captaincy from Sean Kenny Dow. And look at that there, you can see Liam Orme, well, he just gets beat on the inside, doesn't he? And again, there's just no panic from either Jez Litton or Elliot Minchella. And Elliot Minchella gets the ball, he's looking for something that's outside of him. Jez Litton does a really good job here. Look, he slows down the tempo of his run, gives the ball to Minchella. Minchella just turns Senior inside out. And that's poor defence, really, from Castleford. They started so well. We compliment how hard and how well that they work together. And Minchella just takes advantage, really, of poor reads, defensive reads. And those two players, one sets it up, the other one scores it.
Second try of the night. It's only Minchella's second try of the season so far. You can see he's been in and around that starting lineup just about every week. And Mikey Lewis now has a chance to add another 2. And again, he's right in front of the sticks. Just settling himself here, Mikey Lewis. Got a strut about him, hasn't he? He's every inch the half-back, and he puts it over. And it's 12 points to 6. So Castleford were looking good, and suddenly they're looking at their opponents a little further up the hill.
And that's it. Craig Lingard doesn't want to take a backward step. You can see that Liam Orme just steps too far out. It opens up for Jez Litton. Any good 9 will dust you like that. But it was the calmness, the maturity in the game from Elliot Minchella, which he didn't panic when he got down there. He was looking to play and pass the ball right, but found the space open up in front of him.
Always restart, May with a catch, and here come the Robins again, looking to bounce back downfield. Reminder, if you're joining us late, that Hull KR win tonight, then they go joint top with Wigan and St Helens, though having played a couple more games than Wigan, of course, and one more than St Helens, and both those clubs have yet to play this weekend. But it is a measure of where Hull Kingston Rovers are hoping to be this season. Just battling for silverware at the top end of the table. Willie Peters has made a big difference since his arrival at this club, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's made some big changes, some crucial changes. You know, 4th last year, looking for another top 4 finish this year. All of a sudden, everyone's looking at Hull KR as actual contenders.
This is Sue. Litton up there again. Last play here, though. And inside their own half, so Lewis entrusted with a task of just leathering it downfield. Hoy with a catch, and a decent enough chase from the Robins gives him no real opportunity to make further yards than that.
I'm sure the coaching staff for Castleford then are a bit disappointed that the way there was not much pressure applied to Mikey Lewis when he kicked that ball in.
Matty English is on the field, just in his blonde hair bobbing on. And Sylvester Namo's also come on, so a fresher couple of players in the middle of the park for Castleford.
Jez Litton just touching his head there, thinking that there's maybe a bit of blood. He was rubbing it, having a little look. Certainly took a bang on it, didn't he?
Stops things here, slows things down. He is okay, but a slight worry because they've not got an obvious. Oh, there we go, Jack Brown. Welcome to your new teammates, Jack Brown. They've not got an obvious dummy half replacement, have they?
Well, the bench. Friendly fire. Well, Danny Richardson, we saw him in the when he was warming up, just with the forwards in the acting half role, as though he's going to come on and play in that 9 role.
Yeah, Matt Parcell not playing tonight, not available. So it's a kick from Mills. It's a catch from Ryan Hall, and it's a challenge for those Castleford defenders, who in the first instance weren't up to it, but good job there was a bit of backup cover from Gary.
Yeah, David, again, that's a poor kick. It's like you're kicking to one of the most powerful wingers in the game, and you don't want him catching the ball on the full and picking you out and just running to try and run over you or use his footwork on you. On the back of winning play 1, you're defending in your own half.
This is Litton. Hadley with the dummy. Oh, and then they come flying in. Orn and Namo just sought their target and they hit it.
Well, there you go. That's what you get. Bit of impact from the bench. He feels the whole 110 kilos there.
Luckley's on the field as well. We've just seen him with that latest carry, and it's put up by Lewis, and Hoy underneath it. Oh, he's let it slip between him. It's going to bounce out of play here. Yes, it is. Corey Hall makes sure, with Ryan Hall lingering. Well, that's a mistake for Castleford.
Yeah, be really disappointed, won't he? Texar, he had a hole in his bucket there, went straight through. It comes up, he clips it with his left hand. The referee says, Aaron Moore says that he's touched it. Corey Hall wasn't taking any chances though there, just in case it wasn't touched by Hoy.
So they can expect another onslaught coming back their way after that slip by Hoy, and here it is, led in the first instance by Dean Hadley. 30 out. Luckley, little twist in the tackle, but he's been pushed back further back than where he came from. Just lost a bit of momentum there, lost a bit of balance. Minchella. Hadley again put the footwork on English, who just got enough of a bruising touch on him to guide him into the arms of Nama, who made the tackle complete. It's back with May. May's seen a chance, a little glimmer of daylight, run into it, it closed, but he's kept it alive, and it's another of the interchange players, Staunton, who's taken it on the strider too. And look where Kingston Rovers find themselves again here. Litton back for Hiku. Hiku now angling forward. There's enough defenders there surely to make sure that his progress is going to be hindered. 1 to go. Litton has a look. Minchella on the dummy run, but it's a chase of a kick, and English got down there, but he's knocked it on. Got his body in the way, but he has knocked it on, and it means that Hull KR get another set here.
Yeah, unlucky that, wasn't it? Matt English goes down for it like a good goalkeeper. Nice little kick from Jez Litton. You can see the big fella, well, he manages to stop the ball going through, otherwise that could have been a certain try. You just look at the Hull KR jerseys just pushing up in Luckley and Minchella. If he doesn't make that play, I'm sure that would have been a certain try. They've got to watch themselves, Castleford. Tyrone May decided to step off his left, go back at the ruck because they were just a bit loose around the play the ball earlier.
So May will feed, and Lewis has gone running down this left-hand side and puts the footwork on again, but Hoy lands on his back to make sure he ain't going to go any further. Here's an effort from Opacic, who is just held at bay. Well, these are dangerous moments for the Castleford defence. Encouraging for the Robins. Luckley bounces in. Again, they're swarming around him, but he's done really well this time to get that ball away. And then it's flung wide. Tanginoa, left foot step. Castleford defenders responding here. Tanginoa's desperately trying to wrestle his way over. But he's held up, held out. Litton, spinning it further left. Lewis, just smothered again. Good effort. Good effort from the winger, Gary, who's got in there to make that tackle. It's back with May, Minchella. Here's Evolds, and Evolds sees a bit of a space, runs into it, stopped. 1 to go, last play here. Hiku went blind, suddenly realised that wasn't a play for a gamble, and the kick is decent enough, but it's picked up safely enough as well by Rowan Mills, and Castleford survived the pressure.
Yeah, well, good read, wasn't it, from Rowan Mills? Just finds himself in the vicinity. Knew exactly what was coming there, and he was putting himself in a Hull KR jersey, thinking, right, what do I think's on here? Manages to save the situation. They're doing it tough here now, Cass.
They need a set here, don't they? They need a set to get downfield.
Yeah,
and that will help. Penalty.
That's it. That's what they needed. They've been under pressure. They conceded a couple of tries. They're desperate for some field position, and that's certainly the whistle from Aaron Moore will help them. Gets them out of trouble, gets them in a bit of good ball area.
Let's go down to the touchline. Jenna, I think you have news.
Yeah, evening, Dave. Jack Brown came off a couple of minutes ago. He went straight down the tunnel. It wasn't an initial head injury assessment, but I've just been told that he is currently undergoing an HIA.
He had that clash of heads, didn't he, with, was it Lytton? Yeah. So it's probably a little bit of a delayed reaction to that. We wish him well. In the meantime, Castleford find themselves back in a decent position. Only 6 behind for all they've been under the pump for the last few minutes. Looking to get things loaded again here. English. So pick up and a carry on again by Namo, who's done really well and almost delivers a try-scoring pass for Leon Horn. But it's too low and it's dropped. And it means that Hull Kingston Rovers get the ball back again.
He's powerful, isn't he? Namo, look at him, he goes through. You see Horn comes back, gets with him. Just as he's looking to offload the ball, there's a Hull KR defender, I think it's Niall Valder, who just comes over the top. Like, makes a play for his arm, and then gets that bit of a wobble on the ball. Nice, powerful charge. Look at this. Looking for support. Look, if you're playing with a man who you know has got an offload, you support him, and that's exactly what Horn did. But it's a chance missed, isn't it, for Craig Lingard?
But it remains only 6 in it. Hull Kingston Rovers back in control of their own destiny here in terms of having the ball in hand. There's Opacic with a decent carry. It's a ripple of applause from those Rovers fans, and that will turn to a cheer because the referee now has given a penalty.
Yeah, Alex Mellors just turned around and give his teammates a right serve then, knowing that desperate for that field position. You've got to make sure that you're clinical, you're professional in everything that you do. Press really hard. Make sure you don't gift Hull KR that field position. On the back of that penalty, they've just got an extra 20 metres with that kick.
So here they go with a chance to build again. Luckley with the initial drive in. Sam Luckley right in the centre of the field, so an arrowhead of an attack, left or right. They go left. It's with Hadley. English grabbing a hold. He's on a 2-week loan period, isn't he, Matty English at the moment from Huddersfield. Minchella with May, and Evalds pops it back on the inside, and Iku, I was going to say Iku's looking around to see where the defenders had gone, but I think he was also looking around in a kind of a self-admission that that was an obstruction run he just run.
Yeah, I think was it Kane Robb who gets taken out. No, it was Alex Mellor actually. Alex Mellor is the man that's been taken out by Matty Staunton, the number 17 for Hull KR. And Willie Peters probably knew that as soon as that play was made and that Castleford player hit the deck, that was going to be pulled back for a penalty.
It was that look of suspicion from Peteku, wasn't it? It can't be that easy as he ran through, and it wasn't. And Machiavellian actions a little earlier in the play. So Castleford in this game that seems to be swinging one way and the other at the moment in terms of position and possession. Horn's just struggling to keep hold of that. Little squeeze of the ball. Kane Robb on the field. He's put in some brave performances this year, hasn't he? Little fella who's got in the way of some big men on the opposite side. Namo held up. Robb comes out. This now is El Zaki. Still pushing, still making it difficult for those defenders. Eventually he's down, so Robb skips into position. Inside for Milnes. Milnes now, a couple of eager runners, and I'm not sure English was expecting that. He just lets it drop. He's put his hand up as an apology, but he needs to get his hands up and get in defence here, because suddenly Rovers are coming forward with purpose. And Mikey Lewis will see them finish that first play right on the halfway line.
Yeah, well, the transition from Hulkar is very good, but I'm with you. I don't think Matty English was expecting that. They were set up for the big shift over on the left-hand side.
Lytton, Minchella, Staunton. Trying to keep his feet. Just about does that. Drop to the knee, but no more. Lytton back to the middle. Minchella now. And looking for an attacking run at that line, and Hadley was there with him as well, but Castleford stayed true and stayed honest. Lytton, Minchella, it's with May, a short pass. There was an anticipation from Wood there, who came out to cut out the longer ball, but it didn't come. Now it's quickly taken on by Lytton, and May again, and pumps it, but behind Minchella, picked up by Lewis. Lewis chipping towards the corner. Well, we talk about the golfer's precision. I think he's just taken a 3-iron when he needed the pitching wedge.
Yeah, it was like a downtown, that one, from Mikey Lewis. And as soon as he kicks it, he knew he got it totally wrong. Turned around, holds his hands up, acknowledges the mistake. In that good ball area where they are, which is close to Cass's line. They normally nail those sorts of plays. Cordy Hall now just trying to make some decent yards.
So Kane Robb's got up there.
There's a problem with Jacob Miller in the background there. The doctor's on, the physios are on. Play should be stopped here. There it is.
As soon as a doctor comes on the field, the referee has to stop. I don't think he'd spotted him initially, but...
the doctor's put the thumbs up, he's OK. So we'll just wait for the physio and the doctor to leave the field.
Doctor's made me stop, it's 2-minute green card because made me stop tackle 2.
Well, the green card's coming out here. The referee stopped the game for him to get treated. As soon as he stopped it, Miller's OK. So he said, right, green card, off you go. 2 minutes on the sidelines.
Do you know, it's cruel, that, because Jacob Miller, when he took the knock, obviously the physio goes on, and then it's the doctor that comes onto the field. And Jacob Miller was more or less saying right the way through that process, had been looked at, look, I'm OK.
There's the injury. There's a clash of heads there quite clearly, and the medical staff don't take chances these days, hence the doctor was straight on the field. But as a result of all that, he's got to stay off it now for a few more seconds. Cass down to 12, but it shouldn't be too damaging. Rob, Horn, had nowhere to, there was no space ahead of him when he got that.
To be fair,
closed him right down.
I'd like that ball a bit earlier if it was Horn.
Mills puts it high. Oh, and there's a touch, but it went backwards. And so Hawkins, the Rovers are allowed to carry on. Here's Hickey.
There's some line speed now from Castleford. We'll try and trap Hulkar in the corner here. Broadbent's trying to bring the ball away. Looks to play. Links up with Ryan Hall. Tries to use his footwork to get outside of Milnes.
Lewis at dummy half. May down this left-hand side. Up to the line and gets it away. And Opacic is perilously close to that touchline. But in the end is safe. Tanginoa to May. Just battering it in. Last play in this set. How long to go here? Oh, 5.5 minutes, yeah. Kick downfield by Lewis. Hoy. Safe catch this time. No real pressure on him that time either, but having dropped it once, maybe he did feel a little bit of nervousness, but he's put to bed with a wonderful stepping run forward, weaving, gliding run that has taken his team further downfield than they might have expected.
Yeah, he's been pretty quiet. Jacob Miller comes onto the field. Tex Hoy, 7th appearance for Cass. His debut was outstanding against London. Just wants to inject himself in this game.
Here's El Zaki. Didn't fancy the flick on the outside, but puts it back on the in. And now it's Mellor. Oh, and Icky got enough on him to send that ball spiralling out of control. And it will be Hulkar who get it back again.
Yeah, he'll be disappointed, Alex Mellor. You know, he's carried the ball strong all day. Rocked a few of those Hulkar defenders. On that occasion, he can't send Peter Heku back. He's been one of the bright lights this year for me, Alex Mellor. And Heku, well, just stood his ground, hit the back row, dislodges the ball on halfway. A big set of 6 and a big 5 minutes here for Castleford. Don't want to concede any more points before half-time.
So on the halfway line, Hull Kingston Rovers start their latest set, an Opachik scorer of their first try, 30 minutes or 20 minutes or so ago. Oh, that's a good carry from Tanganoa. Good bustling effort again, taking them ever closer. Spun away to Minchella. May is there. And a lift on Staunton, and down he goes. So Lytton restarting. Minchella inside. It's luckily just rumbles forward again, the Geordie. 10 away. Back to Minchella with a short pass. Hadley, they're trying to batter the way over here if they can, but Cass's defence too robust for that on that occasion. And now it's back to the middle. It's spilled. English picks it up. An offload that could have been disastrous, but just about works out. And Castleford are able to relieve their lines. This is a good after-meters contact effort as well there from Sam Wood.
Yeah, it was a great read though from, I think it was El Zakim, who just comes in, he closes the play down. Good carry from Corey Hall, look at that. Comes in, spots luckily, forces the error.
Well, they're travelling well here, Cass. Almost back to the halfway line. Still got tackles in the bag as well. El Zakim again, straightening up, angling up. Inside Rovers territory. Robb. It's Miller. It's Hoy, who's coming on at pace, and now Wood, who tries to bounce out of the efforts of Hiku, but Hiku bravely hangs on and keeps a hold and puts him on his backside. Couple of plays to go. Miller again. Mills. El Zakim. Fairly flat there, no depth to that. And Rovers' defence was reading it all very well. So this is the last. Hoy sticks it up there. Ryan Hall underneath it, and Gary is clambering around his shoulders and dragging him down, and thankful that Ryan Hall hadn't got into his stride.
Yeah, well, and that's how you deal with Ryan Hall. Stick the ball above him, let it come down on top of his head, and as soon as he catches the ball, deal with him instead of giving him a run-up. That's good defence, isn't it? Solid defence. Driving Broadbent back.
Smashed to the ground. Oh, the juggle. Has it gone forward? I don't think it touched anybody, so it's allowed to play on, and Broadbent. It's another set of 6. It did touch. Castleford hand that projected it forward, according to the referee. So another set here. Staunton finds the ground, wants to get up now and play it as quickly as he can. You can see a little shrug from Lytton. He's impatient. Lytton sets off. Hadley back to Lytton. Spinning around. Is there anything there ahead of him? No, there's not, apart from defenders. A wall of them. Evolds. Minchella again, and well, that's another wonderful offload, and Evolds is there. Castle's defence caught a bit flat, but Hoy's come in and closed him down and quickly rescued that situation. But there's more to come here. Tyrone May spins it out. Lewis again with a left foot. It's a kick and a chase for him. It's Nama who bends the back and picks it up and rescues that again for Castle.
I'm not so sure. He goes for the spectacular by kicking it. If he just tucks the ball under his wing, does he have the power to go through? No, I'm not so sure that kick was on then. More the running threat from Mikey Lewis.
Play what you see, instinct, and I think that was play what you see and instinct from Mikey Lewis. Maybe on that occasion just a wrong instinct. So the last few plays of this half. Namo again going direct. He's had an impact, hasn't he, since he's been on the field. And there's one play to go. This will be the last of it. Hooter sounds in the background. Miller onto Hoy. Hoy now with a kick and a chase, but all his teammates are offside. So they have to give it up to Evolds, but on the floor, Hoy manages to make the tackle and stop that turning into something spectacular at the end of what has been an interesting first half. Castleford with the early score through Sam Wood, but two quick flyer efforts from Opachik and Minchella have put Hull Kingston Rovers in the lead at half-time here. It's Castleford 6, Hull Kingston Rovers 12.
Dave Terry, thank you very much. Yes, the side sitting third from bottom against the side third from top, and it is the hosts down near the foot of the table you feel that would be happy to be in that position at half-time. Just 6 points between them and Willie Peters' high-flying Robins. We'll get the thoughts of John Wilkin and Salford Red Devils head coach Paul Rowley on that first 40 minutes after this.
Trying to play to that left-hand corridor again, and Cobbo has left Hines behind, and Lomax, and Talangi, and the hammer is there again.
Yes, New South Wales will have it all to do to rescue Series 2024. They trail 1-0. They go up against Queensland. 10 a.m. Sky Sports action and main event this Wednesday. Thursday, we'll see Queensland take on New South Wales in the Women's State of Origin. Game 3, 10:30 a.m. Action and main event again for those. We're at the halfway point to the opening game of round 15 of the Betfred Super League. And we're at the Mendahose Jungle, where the home side trailed by just 6 against Hull KR, a side sitting 10 places higher than them on the Betfred Super League table. Paul Rowley, round 15's opened up here, and we have, as you suspected pre-game, a tighter game than many had predicted.
Yeah, I think so. We spoke about Castleford having the ability to do whatever is required to save tries, and they've had to do because territory's been mainly in Hull KR's favour, so Hull KR will probably be a little bit disappointed they've not built more pressure at that end of the field, but I actually think both teams have not found it too difficult to get out of yardage, so I think that's an area of concern for both coaches.
OK, Castleford, to build belief on last week's defeat, narrow defeat to the champions Wigan. You felt they maybe had to get a toehold in the game early. They did, scoring first.
Yeah, they did. It was a bright start from Castleford. First opportunity that they really had, and they came up with the goods. It's Milnes with a kick. Look, he's organising this kick. He's putting Sam Wood, who's a big man, in a great position to get above Pettiker and catch this ball. The kick's absolutely perfect, but in Wood and Senior, they've got 2 guys who are just perfectly placed to be kick targets, Paul.
Yeah, absolutely. The massive blocks out. They said 6 foot, 6'5" on Iku. So it's clearly they went there again later in the game as well in that first half, and just got some joy as well. So that's clearly their attacking ploy. And you know, when they get to it in the right areas, then they're going to score points, aren't they?
Hull KR found themselves at the right end of the field for them and got a couple of quick-fire tries back-to-back.
Yeah, they did. And we spoke about running threats and what running threats Hull KR have. Well, they showed us in the tries that they scored that if they're going to have joy, it's going to be going through Castleford and puncturing through them. And this one, the ball ends up in Mikey Lewis's hands, a bit of off-the-cuff sort of rugby. And this is where he's so dangerous. We're just looking at Corey Hall. It's Opicic who ends up scoring. But we were looking at Corey Hall's defensive positioning, how that presented an opportunity, Paul.
Yeah, Corey Hall's just come in front of the line of Rowan Mills. Rowan's sat on his heels a little bit. You've got to be on high alert with Mikey Lewis. We spoke pre-show about that. And look at Corey Hall's positioning there. He's just offered him a triangle in defence.
Where would you want him?
He needs to sit level there with Rowan Mills because there's no backman, there's nobody off the back, so it's man-on-man defence really. So they're lacking communication. Got nervous with Mikey Lewis, and he's took advantage.
And breaks through the middle of you are so hard to defend. It's Elliot Manchella who finishes it. This Jez Litton's really sharp, and he just picks off a mismatch between Horn and Griffin. Horn's going, he's clocked off. Griffin clocks off at second marker. That's 2 defensive errors, and then Jez Litton and Elliot Manchella are too sharp. It'd be concerning for Castleford that they've conceded breaks through the middle of them.
Yeah, I think they've had a focus on their inside pressure, and I think that in their efforts to work tirelessly from the inside, you see Horn there, he's just going without checking his dummy half. Well, the most important man on the field is the guy with the ball, isn't he? So in their efforts to work overly hard, they've just missed their assignment there.
OK, let's pick up on a point you made at the very top there. You said with all that possession, you would feel Hull KR may be disappointed if they hadn't got more points on the table. 54% of the possession, and much of that close to the Castleford Tigers line.
Yeah, exactly, and they've looked dangerous as well with it. They've made several half breaks, and you know they've just finished with probably a little lack of composure with the kicks that, like you said before the show, Brian, were a little bit unstructured, a little bit desperate and off the cuff, rather than just building pressure.
Yeah, and I think those 5 errors will frustrate Willie Peters, and that 70% completion rate, it's almost kept Castleford in the game. The timing of those errors, maybe the few last plays that went astray, and certainly missed.
Should we be looking at a 20-20 82-6 half-time.
It could have easily been that, couldn't it? And there's two things, one to consider. I think the whole KR just timing off, execution slightly off, and Castleford desperate, you know, scrambling like mad. This was the big defensive effort that we talked about against Wigan, but they're just off the mark, Hull KR at the minute.
Yeah, I think so. Like I said, you've got to build pressure, but I think if you really want to concentrate on the positives, then Castleford will be speaking in there. They defended the line resiliently. They got in between a pass there and got an intercept right at the death of the game, which, again, they transitioned well, got themselves up the field for a decent kick. You've got to praise Castleford's defence. They've found a way to defend, and that's all that matters.
Absolutely, and very much in this game at the halfway point, trailing by just 6 against Hull KR. As Dave Wood said in the commentary, the prize for the Robins is to go level at the top of the table with St Helens and Wigan. They've got to complete it, though. 40 more minutes to go against a determined Tiger side. We've got that on the way after this. It's a very special night tomorrow on Sky Sports. Hope you can join us from 7 p.m. on Sky Sports Action, main event and showcase as we bring you the Rob Burrow number 7, a tribute ahead of the Leeds League game as a expected to be sold out Headingley Stadium pays tribute to the late Rob Burrow in front of their home crowd, the Rhinos, for the first time since his passing. Tomorrow is, of course, also Global MND Awareness Day. Every day, 6 people are diagnosed with motor neuron disease. Every day, 6 people die of the disease. There is no cure. Your support will help change that, though. Please scan the QR code on screen or go to www.mndassociation.org/Sky Sports if you would like to donate. And a reminder as well, we have got the champions, the Wigan Warriors, in action against the London Broncos. That's an option for you as well on Sky Sports Arena, 5 to 8 for that one. 2 on Saturday, 1 on Sunday. Hull FC Warrington will start it all off on Saturday afternoon at 5 to 3 on Arena. Same channel at 5:25. The Giants are in the south of France to take on the Catalan Dragons. And Sunday sees Paul Rowley's Salford Red Devils take on Paul Whelan's top of the table Saints at 5 to 3 on Sky Sports Action. Let's get straight over to the tunnel to Jenna Brooks with some halftime team news. Jenna.
Yeah, thanks, Brian. Craig Lingard really pleased with his side start. He said that they're a little bit scratchy with the ball, so he wants them to tidy up in execution. Willie Peters said that his side are gifting Cass too much ball. He wants his players to play more direct. And just some news, Jack Brown, a Hull KR prop forward, has passed his head injury assessment. Time now for the second half. Let's go back to your commentators, Dave Woods and Terry O'Connor.
Thank you, Jenna. Well, we're settling in for what should be a good tussle here in the second half. As you can see, Hull Kingston Rovers with that advantage, but that could disappear in the blink of an eye, just as they got that advantage in the blink of an eye. How does this one go? What you've seen so far, what does it tend you to think about what's going to happen in this second half?
Well, Craig Lingard, you get why he was confident and he was happy with the first half. It was a 3-minute spell that he conceded 2 tries in that first half. He knows that if his side can keep doing the things, respect the ball, just take the game to Hull KR, he knows that he's got to control them, and definitely there's 2 players in particular that need to control, and that's Jez Litton and Mikey Lewis.
Yeah, we were talking about 3 at the bottom, weren't we? London, Hull and Castleford. Well, Cass have lifted themselves into middle ground with performances in the last few weeks. Can they lift themselves even higher and build on that pride that they've been re-establishing and climb the table a little more? Well, they get an early touch of the ball here because Hull Kingston Rovers have spilt possession.
Well, the start of the game, I think it was Ryan Hall who made the error at the very first set in the game that they had the ball. The start of the second half, Tanginoa has done the same. So again, if you're a Cass supporter, a Cass player, you're quite happy here to receive the ball on halfway at the start of the second half.
Early score could establish a mood for this second period, and Cass will be hoping that they can get it. And here's their first opportunity. Miller and Nama, who was a wrecking ball in that first half and is continuing that theme, hitting that line hard and taking some graft to hold on to him. Kane Robb goes out of dummy half and Miller helps him on, and English, there's another set of 6 here. Nama's big running hit, they try to keep him down as long as they could, and As a result, they've got an extra tackle in the bag. Miller puts it back. Hoy's getting involved as well. Hiku, well, I was going to say, making no mistake, he's actually dropped off the tackle. And now an opportunity on this left side for Innis Senior. The Rovers across to close things down quickly. Now it's Miller. Namo again, more of a standing start this time. Less chance to hit them hard, but he's still gathering in a few extra yards here. Creeping forward. Rob goes out a dummy half. It's with Horn. Milnes with a dummy, tries to squeeze through. Thought there was a gap, there possibly was, but it closed quickly. So still tackles to go, 2 of them left here. Horn again, and now Namo goes charging through, reaches, and I think has scored. The referee is going to go for the video replay here.
I've got a try.
Try on the field. What do you reckon? Well, let's hear from the video referee, shall we?
It's tackle 4, live decision of a try. We're viewing the grounding. If we go from camera 2, please, nice and slow. Okay, so Namo's in possession at this point, heading towards the line. Just roll it through. Still in possession at this point. The ball is up. Keep it rolling through. He's still in possession. Keep rolling it through. The ball comes away from the hands at this stage in the end goal. And the ball is knocked on. I've made my decision.
Well, there's a shame from Namo. I was going to tell you it was his first try for Castleford, that, not just this year, but last year as well. But he'll have to wait a little later in this game, or maybe even another day.
The first look when I saw it live, I thought that he didn't get the ball over, but you've got to credit Jez Litton. Just look at Jez Litton when he comes across. He's trying to hold him, he throws his body, throws his legs underneath Namo, who has been a wrecking ball since he's come onto the field, and certainly lifted his side and everyone around him.
Yeah, but super stuff from Litton, as you said. Super defensive effort, and Kingston Rovers regain the ball and retain the lead as Ryan Hall tries to romp forward an extra few yards or so. Namo's already thick in the action again there with English. Offered back on the inside for Luckley. Well, that ball looked as though it was coming free.
Oh, I thought he lost that ball, really. It was English that the ball went into. There should have been a knock on that.
Staunton. So Litton's here again, having played his part at the other end of the field, looking to inject a little in this attacking effort now. Minchella to May, and back on the inside again. Good striding effort from Tanginoa. May goes long with a pass. Hiku's there, stepping inside, but always has Sam Wood for company.
There's a bit of pressure now on the man who's going to kick the ball.
It's going to come to May, who's running into trouble, so offloads it. Hiku is just, I think, happy enough to give the ball up there with very little else on. So Castleford do get it back, but in an uncomfortable position.
Yeah, they were disappointed. They examined on the right-hand side, thought that there might have been something on. They didn't manage to get to the kick. Hiku got tackled with the ball. I like the intent from one of the Cast defenders who come in trying to chop him, and we saw some ribs exposed. Cast now an important period. Now just get through this set of 6.
His senior, prodigious this year. The most explosive try scorer. Brother Lewis here as well these days. Taken on again by Miller. And Kane Robb. He'll have a go. He's always having a go. With or without the ball. Doesn't let up. Horn comes on again, and he's seen a gap to scamper into, and bowls it on for Westerman to gallop another extra few yards, and they've eaten up some territory there, but they find themselves on the last again here, Cass. So creativity required from the boot of Mills. Up and down safely into the hands of Broadbent.
That's a good set, that, isn't it? 2 good plays from both players who play 9 in Rob and in Horn. Get a bit of speed, then they kick on the front foot, challenge Broadbent in the bottom corner of the field, and it's what they do in this next set of 6. Can they control the meters, be disciplined with the defensive efforts, and not give a penalty away?
Well, this is the kind of game that at the end of a season you might look back on, mightn't you, especially Kingston Rovers, and think that was a really tough one to win, but it was an important one, or the other side of that coin, it was a disappointing one to lose, because as much as we're talking about them looking up, lose tonight, and teams below them can start gathering a bit of ground on them as well. So, in that shuffle for the top 6 and places they're in, big few minutes coming up for Kingston Rovers. Lewis puts it high. Hoy's travelling. May's going to get there first. The ball beats them to the ground. Miller now goes left. And they're going to have to burst from there, but no way through for Senior. Here's Wood.
Yeah, now Wood's trying to carry the ball then. And Miller, when he looked to get older, Senior then tried to set him free, but it makes that second carry, the third carry, even tougher. Nice offload from Hull.
Here's Miller. Rob. Westerman. English there for company. Grabbish. High-ish. But the referee says nothing going-ish. Although Matty English is going to have a spell on the floor here, which always invites a second opinion from the video.
Yeah, well, his head definitely rocked back. It's just where the contact was made on Matty English. I think it was Kalepi Tanginoa that stood his ground and launched himself into English. I think it's been a good pick-up for Craig Lingard. Matty English on loan from Huddersfield.
Ian Watson talking about players needing game time, and Matty English falls into that category, isn't he? Too good not to be playing on a regular basis, but not quite able to push himself in the Huddersfield team at the moment.
And probably might fit the sort of mould of player that Craig Lingard's looking to build his side around going forward. I'm not saying that Huddersfield will let him go. But he's a player, he's a tough player.
He's okay. Cass fans, having seen the replay, are complaining, but there's no go from the referee or the video ref. Or is there? Hang on. The referee's just having a glance at the big screen, and I think the video ref is having a word here.
Well, he has his bumpers up, Matty English. And if there's any contact, do you know, I'm fine with that. The first contact is initially on his bumpers on his arm.
Well, if you're penalised for tackles like that in your day, Terry, you wouldn't have had a career, would you?
I'm fine with it.
Yeah, he's fine as well. Everybody's fine. Everybody's fine.
Matty English, like the first contact's on his elbow, he puts his bumpers up, trying to ride the challenge of Kalepi Tanginoa.
All's good. The necessary stoppage at the end. Westerman backing up towards, not quite reaching that halfway line. Rob is in there again, gets it back to Mills with the big boots. But he's being well covered by Broadbent, and Hiku's closed down there by Rob, who, well, he pats the ball. Rob, I think he was involved in trying to steal that ball, and it's gone to ground, so Kingston Rovers get a little bit of luck.
Well, they've changed tack as well, haven't they? They're kicking to Broadbent's side now instead of Ryan Hall's side. That's a nice, powerful carry. Look at that.
What about that?
Meters after contact. That's what you talk about with Tanginoa.
Kalepi Tanginoa. But he's hurt his back. He's hurt his back as Tanginoa. He's stayed down and he's getting treatment as the game carries on without him. And he looks as though he might be in a bad way. This is Lytton, and it is a penalty right in front of the sticks. But there'll be concern from the Robins.
Well, Jez Lytton earns his side a penalty, tries to split the markers. See Tanginoa, like you said, come up with a really big carry. Stayed down, struggled with a back injury. And where he splits the markers, it's El Zakim who just hits him high, catches him high. Then there's a third man in Horn that comes in, but it's for the high shot. They've been penalised.
Well, he's not looking the healthiest just at the moment, is he, Kalepi Tanginoa? But it was a barnstorming effort, this.
Yeah, well, Kalepi Tanginoa, he's not the tallest, but he's one of the most powerful players in Super League. And look at that, the way that he just carries the players forward, breaks free. He gets up, plays the ball, and straight away feels the pain. What you like about him is he knows he's got to play that ball as quick as possible. Mikey Lewis now just looking for getting this ball over, giving his side an 8-point lead.
The goal kicking important tonight. OKR's goal kicking hasn't been great this year. 82 tries. They've only kicked 57 goals. Real problems right at the start of the year, wasn't there? We all remember that first night against Hull FC when it was okay in terms of getting over the whitewash, but putting the ball between the sticks was disastrous that night. But they've settled that ship a little of late, and Lewis very much behind that. 38 goals so far this season, and it stays at 38. Well, maybe the kicking nightmare's not gone away, because that was right in front of the post.
Yeah, well, as soon as he kicked it, the Cas fans went up, didn't he? Realised that he missed it, and look at the anguish on his face. He couldn't believe it that he missed that.
But back they come with ball in hand. Lewis was shaking his head, now trying to shake his hips as he advances towards that Cas line. Lytton now takes it on, and he's going for a solo route, but Castleford have his number and drag him down. Hadley, Minchella, here's Luckley. Oh, and Horn is there. Lifts him up and dumps him down like he was a tackle bag with legs on. May to Hadley. Last play coming next. That was a big effort. Here comes Lewis. Chips it up. Hoy is trying to will that ball into his hands from behind the goal line, but it wasn't coming his way as long as that, so he has to make a bit more of an effort.
He made a mistake in the first half, didn't he, Texoy, trying to catch one of those high balls. Corey Hall just not having any joy getting through. Look at the line speed here now.
Oh, this is 3 tackles gone, and Cas haven't made it to 10, and the Kingston Rovers fans behind the sticks are willing their side on here with big defensive effort. El Zakim takes it as far as the 20, but they've taken 4 tackles to do that. Rob, Westerman out to Miller, and now with a bit of width they've got a bit of a threat, but Hoy can't get inside May, and Iku's there to tidy up. And Miller, as Minchella comes at him, puts a bit of pressure on, and because of that defensive effort, it means that Kingston Rovers start from here, only 10 away from the halfway line.
Well, that's the reward, isn't it? And the end result of some strong defence from Hull KR. The first 3 players, like you rightly said, that they couldn't get past the 10-metre mark. On the back of that now, because of that, they get the ball close to the halfway.
Ryan Hall's taken a clatter. Gets up and plays it, and here comes the lesser spotted George King, who takes it into that Castleford half. Lytton having a look. Minchella. Lewis again, and again he fancies the challenge of taking on that line. This time they hold firm. Last play. It's launched into the air by Opachik, and a wonderfully sailing catch as Castleford put themselves back in possession in the shape of Senior.
Yeah, nice take, wasn't it, from Senior. He doesn't take his eyes off that ball. He knows that as soon as he gets it, he's going to be clattered. Look at that strong defence. The referee calls held. Well, it could have been a penalty, that.
Well, Hull KR again are ramping it up in defence here. Castleford are finding it hard to get out of there, and Wood, trying to force the issue, has simply spilt the ball, and there are screams of glee from those Robins players who've done a big job. It's not about the fancy stuff often when you do it in hand. It's your effort and work rate and intensity at moments like this that has served them well.
Yeah, well, that's it. It's the fight. It's the hunt to make the mistake, isn't it? And then who comes over the top? I think it's George King. His knee just makes contact with the ball. The ball comes out. Cas now have got to do the tough stuff again. Another set of 6 that they need to keep this Hull KR side out. Easier said than done, though, at the minute.
Well, the Robins have got a scent of something big here. Get over the whitewash for a 2-score lead. Here's Hiku. Or if he'd looked out, if he'd got it away, there were 2 on an overlap there, Broadbent and Evans, but has to take it in and take the tackle, and Sue now goes charging forward. Right in front of the sticks, 4 plays to go. Another set of 6. 6 plays to go. Lytton out to May. Bobbed back in again. Tanganoa with another Rumbustious effort, but this time stopped in his tracks. Kane, tellingly, down at his heels. Minchella with the step, and then the push. Castleford hanging on. Lytton has a look, left and right. Odds on it's going right here. Back it comes to Evolds. Hiku on the scissors. Bit of daylight there, but clouds come. Oh, has he got in? Has he got it down? It looked like Castleford had got that wrapped up. But Pesa Hiku might just have found a way to score. He isn't quite sure. Soft signal, no try. Let's hear from the video referee.
It's tackle 2, live decision of a no try. We're confirming held up. So from camera 8, please, nice and slow. Yeah. Okay, it's Hiku in possession, so slow, rolling it through. Still in possession. He's still in possession at this point. Nice and slow. Keep rolling it through. Keep going. He's still up at this stage. The ball is still up. Keep rolling it through nice and slow. The ball is still up at this stage. Keep it rolling through. Keep it rolling it through till the tackle is complete. We do lose sight of the ball at this stage. If we can now, now please look from camera 3. So this might help us. So we've established at this point he's in possession and the ball is up. We just keep rolling it through nice and slow. The ball is still up at this stage, his hands under the ball. The ball is still up, keep rolling it through. Okay, it's up. It's always up. We just keep rolling it through till the tackle is complete. We can still see the ball's up at this stage. Keep rolling it through. And at this stage, the tackle is complete. I've made my decision.
Well, we get the definitive version there. But again, if we'd done the honesty test with Peta Hiku, I think he would have told us about 4 minutes ago it wasn't a try. He's been ready to play the ball all the time. I think he was pretty certain he'd not touched it down, but we get the official version there, an absolutely clear decision. It's no try. But Hull KR go again here. It's not over yet for this Castleford defence, who worked hard there to deny that score, but more hard work to do. A slip in defence has given Mikey Lewis a chance to have a bit of a dash. But again, he's held on. He's still fighting to get over there. And in fact, in fighting to get over there, is almost turning into an actual fight between him and Kane Robb. Two flyweights going face to face. Robb and Lewis, you do not doubt the spirit of either of those, do you?
Well, we all know what Lewis is like, but no one's seen Kane Robb plays exactly the same, a little firecracker.
Yeah. Minchella. Evolds. Hiku's gone back on the inside to try and fox Castleford, but again, they're hanging on. One play to go. Really important play as well. Kick over the top. What's the bounce like? It's all over the place. And it's Cass who snub out the danger at the end of that. My word.
I know they've got another set of 6 here to contend with because there's going to be a drop kick from under the sticks. Gary gets the ball. Can't get back in the field of play. But there was some massive defence there. Sam Hall and Liam Horn. For the first time it went up to the video referee, they managed to stop the try being scored, and then good play from Kane Robb on Mikey Lewis to prevent him getting the ball over the line. Big passage of play from Cass.
Another set. Fatigue settling into Castleford limbs at the moment. You should imagine he senses his side could be on the cusp of just blowing this game open a little here. Sue with the drive, but Castleford will be gritty, will be tenacious. As the Robins come flying at them again, May with a pass! And they try to force the issue. And Hoy picks it up belatedly, and Castleford have it back.
Well, that's a big win for me, for Cass. Look, there's some heroic defence on shore then. Kalepi Tangino, oh! For a speculator then, look, 10 yards from the line, that's not what you need when you're 6 points behind. Well, he opens up the gap. Corey Hall would have had Tanginoa anyway, but he makes the mistake.
Here's Robb. Westerman, inside ball. Effort again made by Sam Hall. 10 short of the halfway line. Rob flicks it out. Miller. And now Hoy has got his exciting wheels on. Tex Hoy, inside, outside. Evolds does well, really well, to get back in a balanced defensive position and wrap his man up, spoil his hopes. But Cass come again, right across the field. Westerman, Hall. Referee says backwards. Gary picks it up. He's got a bit of zip. Rob. The chip is early. Up it goes. Thrown back and straight to Hadley. And Hadley's tried an offload and given it away to Wood. What kind of madness is going on here?
What's Dean Hadley doing there?
It was a crazy decision. But Castleford suddenly back within sight here. What was he doing here? I think he just lost grip of the ball.
Sorry.
It wasn't an offload, it was just a drop. Another restart to the set as well. Westerman offers it back on the inside. Hall goes forward. Hall put down. Options right and left. It's right they go with Westerman. Soft pass from the line. And Mills will rip his way through to score. The game's relit. Castleford are relit. And what a response. First in defence, the efforts in defence. 2 or 3 sets. And then at the other end, they take their chance.
That's it, and I'll go back to what you said about the defence when they forced the error from Tanginoa. And Rowan Mills goes over for the try. Plenty of time on the ball. Another former ex-Hull KR player. He'll be happy to score this. And just no panic. Joe Westerman gets right into the heart of the defence. It's the show and go for Rowan Mills. Like, he's one of those players that he has got time on the ball. You just look at the movement that he has. The show and go. Beats Mikey Lewis. Beats the man who's inside him. And that's what it means. It's a big play from him. And it's Tanginoa, the man who made the error. Craig Lingard goes up. He's happy. Those fans are certainly happy now. Because what they've seen from their side is they've seen some fight. They've seen some belief over the last couple of games that they can compete with the teams at the top of the table.
As we said right at the start, top 6 is probably too lofty an ambition given where they're starting from at the moment. But they will make an impression on that top 6 because they will claim some scalps the way they're playing at the moment. And there's every chance the Robins could be one of them here tonight. But there are still 20 minutes left to play. And this still needs kicking if it's going to be level again. Mills with a settle. Big deep breath. Can he turn 4 into 6? Drags his focus back to the ball, having taken a glance at the sticks, and then left-footed strikes it well, and over it goes. And it's 12 points apiece with 20 minutes to play.
Well, outstanding. Hull KR have had plenty of possession and decent field position, and this Rowan Mills goes over for an easy try. He's one of those players, he's like an old-style 6 that likes to take on the line, shows the ball, pumps the ball out, the defence goes for it, they fall for it, the Cas fans go up. 12 apiece with 20 minutes to go. But they've had plenty of possession and position, this Hull KR side, far more than what Cas have had, but they've not managed to nail it like Cas have had when they've had those chances.
Here's Westerman pushing, Litton's there.
There you go, play the balls in the opponent's 26 to 14 in favour of Hull KR.
Rob picks it up. Westerman goes forward again. There is fire in the Castleford belly.
That's a nice set. Just roll your sleeves up, get up with the hard stuff here. Look, simple carries off the rope. You know what your job is. Get to the kick on the back of scoring points. Don't make an error.
Kingston Rovers needing to resettle, refocus, because they're up against very dangerous opponents at the moment. But they've got a bit of class in their side as well. Talking about class, don't forget tomorrow night, Rob Burrow, the tribute to Rob Burrow, number 7 at Headingley, Leeds against Lee. But there'll be a full tribute starting at 7 p.m. tomorrow. Join us for that. It will be in many ways joyful as well as it will be sad and touching. And here is one of Rob's former teammates, Ryan Hall. Looking to settle the ship at the moment, this Castleford side. There's been a furious response from Rovers that they've found against this Castleford side. 5 gone, last play. Lewis sticks it up there. Hoy's underneath it. May is up there as well. He's timed that run and jump, but it's a 6 tackle.
Yeah, that's a
what
great,
an effort that was.
That's a great take, isn't it, from Tyrone May. All the effort to challenge, contest for that ball. Unfortunately, can't keep his feet to get over the try line. Looking for the offload as well. He just out jumps. Takes Hoy, comes down with it. But more importantly, they don't give a penalty away. And they don't panic as well, Hull KR.
18 minutes to play in a game that needs settling. Just got that spectre of golden point creeping up on the horizon. Castleford have already been involved in one of those at Lee a few weeks ago. It actually ended a draw that day. And Rob will have a little dart again, just testing the resolve of those Robins defenders behind that rock, and back to Hoy, who kicks it downfield, and Hall is there to catch it on the full, and already in about 4th gear by the time he hits that Castleford line.
Again, a bit of a poor end to the set there, kicking the ball to Ryan Hall. Kick the ball to the corner, defend hard, chase really hard, try and restrict those meters.
Linton out. Here's Broadbent. Jack Broadbent. Season-long loan from Castleford, of course. One of those who've crossed territories.
He's jumping out, Jez. Linton comes on to the right-hand side. Didn't see anybody worth passing the ball to. Goes to the left-hand side.
Slings it back to Mikey Lewis, and here's Minchella, and here's May again, and May now to Hadley. They're calling forward. Yeah. Touch judge on the near side agrees with that.
You know, it's a bit of inside pressure. The man who carries the ball, if you have a dig into the line and you go to the line and you go near a defender, well, you've got to sense that you're going to get some threat. I think it's Kane Rodd. Look, Kane Rodd comes up, puts a bit of pressure on Tyrone May. Hadley's looking for that line ball. He's looking to get the ball maybe a yard behind where he caught it.
That's some nervous storytelling, some nervousness there, isn't there?
Yeah.
Quite rightly.
100%. Willie Peters knows he's in the ball game there, along with Danny Wall, former Cas coach, former Cas player.
Where's it going? Where's it going here? Where's your money? Well, I know where your money is. It's in your back pocket, and it ain't coming out under any circumstances. But what's the gut feeling?
Look, you're looking at Cas here, and I think Cas over the last 10-15 minutes have been very workmanlike, doing the job that they really have built with some big defensive players that they've come up with, and they've got a lot of confidence from that.
Thursday night football. Vibrant. Well, that looks as though it might have been forward as well, but that's not given. Rob, Miller. Miller's there, but it's put back to Hoy, and this is Wood, and Wood putting on the steps. They're not shaking off May. Senior back to Miller again. Westerman, Milnes, they've got numbers on that right-hand side. Hoy comes back towards the middle, trying to pick a path through there himself, but it's full of eager limbs from Kingston Rovers. Now it's a chip from Milnes. The two big fellas, Wood's there, but it's gone to ground. It's all a bit untidy, but May drops on it, and OKR get it back. But my word, look how close they are to their own goal line again.
Do you know, you want your luck going for you. Some occasions, I think, in the build-up to that, there was a forward pass from Cas, about 40 metres from their own line. The fortune goes their way, and then all of a sudden, now look at them, they're revving up.
Well,
they're getting off the line.
It's a great atmosphere here tonight. It's a wonderful occasion.
Yeah,
and the Cas fans, just like the Rovers fans were a while ago, cheering their side on in defence, restricting the yardage numbers here. Last play for Hull KR, so it'll be a kick. Oh, and it's a scrappy kick, and it's in fact dropped.
Wow.
Terrible mistake, and if Castleford needed any lifting, they've just got it.
Look at that. Did he manage to make 26 metres carrying the ball? And you could see that, look, it just a bit of miscommunication between Tanginoa and Mikey Lewis. Just gets in his way as he's looking to drop the ball onto his boot. And the pressure's now telling for Hull KR. Look at the coach, look, just got to get into the grind here. We've got to just ride these challenges from what Cass are throwing at us. And at the minute, they're not quite handling it.
Well, full credit to Cass. The season start they had it all lifted with that win against Salford, and since then they put points together, and Craig Lingard's doing a cracking job here. Can they see it home now? Rob, a dummy half, wants to get on with it. Westerman comes on again, short pass, again trying to force it. Again, it's a mistake, and Hull KR come up with great relief on the back of that.
Well, the big thing for Cass is where they turn the ball over. Look, he's trying to thread the ball through here. I think there's a bit of a play on the arm as he's trying to pass this. Oh no, it's just a bad ball really from Joe Westerman. He'd be frustrated. The ball was out the back as well. Joe Westerman's having a bit of a go at his teammate there. The ball wasn't on, he was in front of him. A man with that much experience in Joe Westerman, that's not the player to put on. The big thing for Castle is the mistakes made 10 metres from Hull KR's line.
The jungle's throbbing at the moment. Where's this going? Still all square. 12.5 minutes to settle it, or into Golden Point extra time. Is someone going to come up with a bit more magic, a bit more inspiration, or a sheer brutal carry like that? Behind the 40-metre mark here from Lytton. But Hoy's got that red. Steadies himself, slows to a stop, has a look around. He just sees this wave of pink coming his way. And was Hoy a little bit slack there? Or am I being overcritical, Terry?
Yeah, well, just strong defence there. There's 4 players there, and he's not the biggest, is he, Tex Hoy? And he's certainly feeling it in the back there now.
Cass got work to do. His senior, Hull KR have got work to do, and they're rolling up their sleeves here and getting a big defensive effort in if they can. Mellor, a couple of plays still left. Westerman keeps hold of the ball. Rob, last play. Hoy sticks it high, got a bit of spin on that, but you back Emeralds to get there and catch it, and he's covered a bit of ground as well, having caught it, and suddenly it's an attacking potential here as Broadbent cuts inside. Senior says, you're going nowhere, and drags him down and puts him down.
He's trying to strip the ball as well then, Senior, wasn't he? From Broadbent.
Here's Hickey. Spin and a push. Searching for the halfway line. Up he gets, Lytton. Who's next? Luckley's next. Just hammering it in. Griffin. Now it comes out to Lewis. Lewis with a bit of a spin. Just let roll. Lost again. Lost again. Another mistake. And on the back of that, it swings a little the other way.
Well, that's it. He's just fighting, isn't he? He's fighting to get rid of Griffin, who's on top of him. It's a loose carry as he's trying to get up and play the ball. He makes the error. Griffin is delighted with what he's seeing. A bit of rub on his head. I'm sure Mikey Lewis, if the ball was on, or the boot was on the other foot, he'd do exactly the same. And the error's now just creeping up for Hull KR. They've had more possession than Castleford.
10 minutes and counting. Still in the balance. Both sides have injected a bit of quality in this game through the opening 70 minutes. Now both desperate to get themselves over the winning line first.
Well, Dave, I know there's just under 10 minutes to go in this game, but I fancy that Rowan Milnes or Jacob Mill, if they get up near the line, they'll have a crack at the 1 point.
Never stopped. But again, they're creeping closer to that position that you're just suggesting there, Terry. Rob puts it back again, and here's George Griffin.
We'll get another straight carry off the ruck, a really big, strong carry and a quick play of the ball.
Miller, Hoy, now it's left again, and here comes Senior. Senior does ever so well not to be taken out of play, but then offloads it and gives, I think it's Broadbent underneath all of that. who'll claim it back for Hawkinson Rovers.
You know, it was nearly on. I think Jack Broadbent here, he goes into touch. The cast players, look, they get the ball there. Sam Wood gives the ball to Senior. Senior then just throws the ball back up. Broadbent gets hold of it. Look at that, Wood goes on him. Then all of a sudden, Jack Broadbent, well, he just throws himself out the field of play. He knew exactly what he was playing for then.
That was clever stuff from Broadbent, because he wasn't going to go out of play had he not put his foot out of play. The tackle complete as soon as Wood put a hand on him. So when two other players came in, get into him is the cry. I think that's coming from both ends.
School.
Here's Litton. Good carry again. Litton poised to deliver from dummy half once more. Evolds into the face of Hicku. Hicku did well to hold on to that. Pass at pace and in the face. Just a little look at his teammate as if to say thanks for that, son. Back it comes to May. Here comes Luckley again with a push. 6 tackle, too far out for a drop goal, you would have thought. Ninchella, Lewis puts it up there. Hoy puts himself into position, slides down to make sure he catches it safely, and Castleford start from the back again.
Well, they need as many cast players behind the ball now to offer themselves as genuine options. Now Castleford. Well, Mills just comes in now. Gaddy just trying to use that speed and footwork at the line, maybe try and get a penalty.
Rob. Oh, bounces down but gets it away. And I think that Sue was having a second go there. I don't think Sue realised the ball had gone free. Anyway, they carry on. Here's English. 5 gone. 1 to go. Again, it's going to be a kick high. Mills gets it up there. Hadley was advancing, but up it goes, down it comes. And Broadbent's done really well here, not only catching the ball, but finding a release clause to it as well. And steps back on the inside and is going to be tackled, but what a clearing run that is. And at this stage of the game, it means that Hull KR, at the very worst, should be in a drop goal position at the end of this, and might fancy even more of that with 6 minutes to play.
Yeah, fabulous player that, wasn't it, from Jack Broadbent? That certainly is a win on play 1.
Sue, just a big carry. Just a big carry, and centrally. 3 tackles to go. May now has a little glimpse left to see if there's anything on. Tanganoa. You'd suggest it's coming back down the middle here. Unless the Robins really fancy their chances of breaking the defence through hands. It's pushed on by Luckley.
Oh, Jez Litton was screaming for it to be set up.
Now it's the last. Litton's in position.
Litton.
Back it comes, onto his left foot, and over the crossbar, between the sticks. And at a crucial point of the game, Hull Kingston Rovers regain the lead by the slenderest of margins.
Well, I said before, Jez Litton sniping when he went through, and he was setting up for that. He knew exactly where he wanted that player to land, to the right-hand side of the sticks. Kicks that straight between the H's, and I think Cass, a couple of players before, have missed their chance to go for the 1 point. When they tried to run the ball, they got caught. They got conceded a penalty, and they were set up centre field to go for the drop goal. They'll go short here, surely. No.
They're going long. They're going long.
Wow.
Trying to keep their opponents deep at that end. Have Castleford got the ability to bounce back here? Or is that now a match-winning lead that Hull Kingston Rovers have just given themselves? It's going to be a fight to the finish. 4.5 to go. Hull KR just settling their ship, bringing it out in steady style. Litton, the hero of the moment, goes left again. Ninchella pushing his head through, but, well, he's done very well, actually, just carrying and carrying. Eventually, the referee shrieks held. Back to May, inside to Evolds. Last play, Evolds wanted to get on with it, but referee says no, you have to play the ball. This is Lewis. Wow, that's got some height. Long time before that comes down, and Hoy's timed his jump superbly well. And Castleford have it back again, but they've got 70-odd yards to cover.
There's been a decent duel between him and Tyrone May. Every time that ball's gone up, Tyrone May's getting in his eye line, he's challenging, trying to force the error.
4 plays and a good distance if they're going to do it in this set. With time ticking on, 3.5 minutes now.
You know, they're desperate for the penalty. Jacob Miller just pushing Griffin, manhandling him really, pushing him, saying, look, I want you to carry the ball, just get on with it.
Rob picks it up. Mills to Hoy. Hoy away. El Zakim flicks it on again. Here's Gary. He can't get through. Dragged towards the touchline. Just about stays in the field. But this is the last play. It's going up in the air, and then it's going to be chased hard. Miller's after it, but it's superbly taken by Niall Evans at the back. And it's another chance for Kingston Rovers just to see this game out now if they can.
Well, I think they've just put on Narmo back onto the field. Do you know, if there's a player that can force an error, it's Sylvester Narmo. He'll be firing out the line, just trying to force an error, get contact on that ball.
Just caught it. Oh, they've lost it! They've lost it! They've lost it! So not only do Cass get another set, they're in a very advanced starting position here.
Well, it's young Kane Robb. He grew up in the amateur game up in West Hull. So he will like this result. He will like that tackle. He forces the error. The centre field, the 30 metres out. What did he do? Did he go for the try, or did he set up for a quick play of the ball and go for the 1 point?
Well, anybody emotionally invested in this game, good luck, because in the next 2 minutes it's going to be decided one way or another. And Rob, out of the back of the scrum, throws it wide right to Corey Hall.
I'm going to set up for Ron Mills for the drop goal.
Referee saying, get back to your mark, Corey. Play it where you were tackled. Gary, El Zakim driving it in again. This will be their last set. Castleford, they need to do something. So Kingston Rovers know that all they have to do is keep them closed out. But can they do that? Is there going to be a drop goal? It's a slow play the ball. It's a knock-on. It's a knock-on by Narmo. And that surely is that. He turns away, heartbreakingly disappointed at that. And Rovers leap for the air in delight because they fancy they've won the game now.
Yeah, it's tough, isn't it? I said Ron Mills was sat in a pocket. He was centre field, 15 metres away from where the ruck was. You can see him there. He gets that. He's going for the 1 point. And I'd back him to get it. Unfortunately, Sylvester Narmo makes the mistake. He's been good in this game as well. Narmo, Willie Peters, well, they managed to get through the set of 6 here with the ball. They've got away with a win.
63 seconds to go. In the ball goes. Out it comes with Ryan Hall. It's going to be slow, this set. Rovers in no hurry. As it stands, they've got the game won. Castleford are just desperate to create an error. But surely it's hope against hope now, because Hull KR are going to see this one home.
Well, whatever happens in this game, well, they're up against a top 3 side here in Hull KR. If they go down in this game by 1 point, they're competing. They competed last week against Wigan, the champions, lost by 2 points.
Lytton looking left, spins it out there. Mikey Lewis, the whole ground's gone silent at the moment. Absolutely silent at the moment as Tanganoa goes rampaging again. Back with Lewis. Lewis on the last will just stick it down. Now here we go. 7 seconds to go. What have you got, Tex Hoy? What can you do? Nothing on that occasion. Rovers' defence is good enough. The clock ticks down to 80. We've not heard the hooter yet. We've not heard the hooter. Now the referee blows his whistle and says that is the end of the game. There's a little bit of confusion here because I don't think we've heard the hooter. but the referee has got a signal that the 80 minutes is up. He's blown the whistle. It's his whistle that matters at the end of it. And there's the Hull KR hero tonight. Lytton's drop goal, the difference between these two sides. What a battle. What a battle we've seen. A wonderful Thursday night encounter. Castleford and Hull KR. But Hull KR are going back level at the top with Wigan and St Helens. And it's this moment that won it for the Robins. Right at the end. Lytton as cool as you like, and the strike was to perfection, and that's the reason why they're all celebrating at that end of the ground. What a game. Breathless. Castleford 12 points, Hull Kingston Rovers 13.
Dave Terry, thank you very much. The first drop goal of Jez Lytton's professional career has sealed a single-point victory for Hull KR here at the Jungle, where Castleford, as predicted by our special guest Paul Rowley and indeed by John Wilkin, where Castleford put up a titanic struggle.
Yeah, they did, and I think, you know, if you look at the arrows and you look at the territory, then Hull KR totally dominated, but we said about finding a way defensively, and we saw that from Castleford. What we saw is a Castleford Tigers full of spirit, full of improvement, like we said pre-show. So, yeah, it was a tough game, and, yeah, the one play from Jez Lytton obviously fitting for Hull KR in the end.
If you are to have a special season, I'm talking from a Hull KR perspective here, if they are to have a special season, they may reflect back on days like this, nights like this in round 15.
Yeah, they've got away with one, Brian, and been far from their best in a lot of facets, you know, far from their best, Willie Peters men, but got it done. And at the end of the season, this is 2 points, isn't it? It's as far from a pretty picture from Willie Peters as he wouldn't have wanted to see a performance like that. But inevitably in the year, you can't be at your best every week. You have to produce results or find 2 points in the most unlikely of circumstances. And it looked like that could have easily got away from Hull KR tonight.
Yeah, I think if you look back to Catalan Dragons last year as a good example and a good blueprint, they struggled with a lot of the really early results that were very, very tight, and obviously the end of the season was a strong one for them. And this to me replicates that sort of form. The Robins they find a way to win, don't they? They've got a good winning habit, a good culture. So, like you said, John, they've got away with one, but it's a win.
Yeah, a word on Castleford though as well. They really followed up from a defensive performance against Wigan last week with something of a very similar quality. Fractured twice in the first half. But look, they've got something there that they've managed to replicate this week against a tidy attacking Hull KR team. You know, some huge efforts. Kane Robb, young man, really front-loading all of his energy into the defensive plays of the game. Now, it's a game where you've got to score more points than the opposition. And that's the issue. You can have plucky efforts defensively, but you've still got to win those games.
OK, let's get to the player of the match. Standing by with Jenna. He made an impact when he came on the field. Unfortunately for him, though, Jenna, he goes home defeated.
Yeah, bittersweet, isn't it? These interviews, I was just saying to Kane Robb that they're always a little bit awkward to do. Congratulations, you are the Betfred player of the match, but such a tight game to lose.
Yeah, such a tight game to lose, but just proud of the boys' effort. These past 2 weeks, the boys have just dug in. I'm just real proud of the effort. Like, to be in the games, like a few weeks back, we've had 40 points put past us, and these past 2 weeks, it's just a try. We're just so close. Just keep building each week.
OK, so what's changed?
I just think the boys, we've done a mid-season review, and we just told Lingers is asking from us. We just want. No one beats us for effort, and I just think the boys are just digging in for each other and working hard.
That's something that we really saw out there tonight. We saw it last week against Wigan as well. Desire. Where does that desire come from?
It's just attitude. Just dig in for each other. The 1% efforts, they're always going to be there if you've got them. So, yeah, I think the boys, we just keep working hard and keep building.
And what about you personally? You've got the pundits in studio this week. Everyone's been talking about you last week as well from a personal point of view. Defensively in particular, you are impressing.
Yeah, I just pride myself on the 1% effort. It's working from marker, and that's just part of my game. Just keep working hard from the inside, and yeah, I'll just get up on the D.
Well, Kane Robb, congratulations. You are the player of the match. Bad luck on the defeat.
Thank you. Thank you.
I love how succinct he made that in the end. Just work hard, get up on them and work hard in your D.
He did, and he has a real mixed tackle selection, doesn't he? He's hitting high and aggressive, he hits low and copyable. But for me as well, he mixes it up. He's got a great running game, he's fast, he's got enthusiasm. I watched him play his debut against Salford, actually, and as just a young man, and he's grown up now, he's bigger physically, and I think he's a real player for Castleford. I'm a big admirer of him, and I thought he deserved the man of the match.
Yeah, I think at different times in your career, you work out what works for you. And for Kane Robb in the last couple of weeks, I think there's a blueprint there for what works for him. If he wants to be that player, that James Roby sort of player that leads up effort areas, that leads the line speed in the team, and you know, if he can do that and replicate that against great attacking teams like Hull KR and Wigan, I think credit to him. Another great performance from the young hooker.
Well, he was on the losing side, Kane Robb. He does go away with the Player of the Match award chosen by Salford Red Devils head coach Paul Rowley, who pre-game was effusive in his praise of Elliot Minchella, I should say. Yeah, you've heard that plenty of times. Yeah, you've heard that
slightly different player. Big boots to fill there.
Yeah, you've heard that plenty of times. Your reflections on that? You got away with that, just.
Yeah, you're right. Tough. We got away with a few bad decisions from ourselves with the ball. You know, we didn't respect the ball. His discipline was probably very poor, and you know, we invited Cass into the game, and they're a tough side, and we had to show some grit on our goal line. Probably not good enough by any stretch of the imagination, but we got the job done and found a way to win.
Any reason, any early reason as to why you were a little off as a team?
No, I'm not sure. I think like I said, we just didn't respect the ball. We kept turning the ball over and inviting Cass, you know, onto our goal line. And you know, you invite any team, they're going to give you trouble. So we have to learn from that. But you know, take the positives. We found a way to win, and that's a pleasing thing.
It's going to get very loud here. It's going to get very loud as the Hull KR fans make their way here. Your try, the second try of the game, your try just in the first half, I should say, was probably very much needed. You had so much territory, so much possession in that first 40 minutes, and weren't returning points until moments like this.
Yeah, we spoke about being direct. We didn't think it was a night to go around Castleford. We thought just keep making chips away at their middle, and you know, we get the joy. And that you don't train for stuff like that. That's just off the cuff stuff. And we've got a great hooker like Jez Litton, and you just got to back him up sometimes and get your joy like that.
Okay, you've got him here beside you now. Just go through why you admire him so much as a player.
Well, don't want to get embarrassed or embarrass him either, but obviously I said before, sure, I think when you play, you straighten up and you're that conduit between obviously the middle and the edges. So, but you play nice and square, but you've got a nice running game as well. I know you're ambitious and you want to play in hopefully the England setup this coming month, is it? So yeah, next week. So no, that's the praise I gave you. So it's as simple as that, and good luck for England if you do get it.
Is that the ambitions?
100%, yeah. You know, I'm a proud Englishman and I want to represent my country, and to do that, you've just got to keep playing consistently, and that's what I try and do week in, week out, and hopefully that stuff take care of itself.
Brian, what I do like also is done it the hard way. He's come from Championship, he's earned his stripes, got a lot of respect for the way he's got here and where he's kept improving and working on his game.
I'll respect you even more if you get over there, sign some autographs and quieten them down as we continue the show. Elliot, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks, Paul.
Okay, that's Elliot Minchella, captain of Hull KR. He's going to go off and sign some autographs for this collection of fans here behind us. Let's hear from his head coach, Willie Peters.
Brian, that's right. Hull KR head coach Willie Peters alongside me. Willie, did that game age you at all?
Certainly has. I feel a lot older. We got the result, but it wasn't a great performance. But yeah, we knew it was going to be tough here tonight, so pleasing to get the result.
We spoke about attitude before the game, didn't we? Cass only winning 3 so far this season. Do you put that performance down to attitude or lack of concentration? What do you put it down to?
Oh, look, I don't think we settled. You know, I thought there was moments in that game that we played, you know, we played to the way we can. But, you know, obviously Cass has improved, as I said before the game. Yeah, I think the attitude was okay. I mean, during the week they trained well, and I thought in the dressing room beforehand they seemed on, but yeah, it wasn't a good performance. So we got the result, but we always look at performance first.
Okay, so just on the performance, what is the number one area you want to improve?
I thought our discipline tonight was average. I mean, our attack wasn't great as well. We always pride ourselves in defence. You know, they scored off a kick, and then they got another try off the back. So, look, I mean, there's probably not one area that we're great at tonight. So it's probably collective. You know, we've got a bit of a break now. Whether they were looking at that, I'm not sure. But but it's a bit of a warning shot for us because, you know, I don't think we played that well tonight.
I saw you with your arm around Kalepi Tanganoa. What was said?
Oh, look, Kalepi had a bit of a tough night, but I mean, he's been wonderful for us all year. So, you know, he's going to be better for it next time, and he's an important part of what we do.
And a week off with international break, how will you use it?
Yeah, I'm going to get away with the family for a little bit, so I think we all need a bit of a break, especially after that.
Yes, we all do need a break. Willie Peters, congrats on the win.
Thank you. Cheers, Jenna. Thanks.
All right. You've got to stay balanced as a coach, don't you? You've got your 2 competition points. He says we focus on performance. That wasn't brilliant, but we got the 2 competition points. How difficult is that in the minutes after a game to compose yourself and go in and deliver a message that is a positive, on one hand, positive because you've won the game, but also probably a warning to the players as well that maybe performance-wise that wasn't where we needed to be?
Yeah, I think you're right. But again, I don't want to get away from the fact that Castleford have improved a lot and they've made it difficult. So a lot of that good work that they did forced a lot of errors as well. So I reckon OKR can fix that or polish that performance pretty easily by fixing just a couple of things. One of them being last plays and a little bit of discipline in and around that area.
And maybe piling on points when they're available. Take us through the second half, John. We'll start with a missed opportunity for 2 very simple points for Mikey Lewis's boot.
Yeah, and I think the night was about missed opportunities for Willie Peters, and you know he will go into the dressing room and not have to tell his players that they've not delivered. They'll know. It was a missed conversion, penalty goal for Mikey Lewis, and all the time that Hull KR were spurning opportunities, you felt like that was just allowing Castleford an opportunity to go and snatch this off them. It was a no try from Peter Hiku, who was held up, and all of the pressure was on the Castleford line, and the resilience Castleford showed was incredible actually under all of that pressure. Hull KR was so bad with the ball today. They were tragic with the ball, and it was a no try, wasn't it? It took an edge.
Not long after that, Castleford found themselves on the right end of the field and on the scoreboard again in the second half.
Yeah, absolutely. They just kept building pressure. It was all about pressure, wasn't it? And their inability of both teams to do it at times, and when they did, then they got rewarded for it. And you know, we've spoke about Joe Westerman a lot, and now what a good footballer he is. Well, you had to defend Joe. He's a big body, and some defensive mysteries there from Tanganoa.
And really smart from Horn, who's the lead runner. It's quite easy to just make contact with the defender there, and that gets pulled back for an obstruction. It's well timed. It's at full tilt. Joe Westerman's skill is catching that at full tilt, and that's where you thought the game was turning. When Cass had done all that defending, valiant defence. Hull KR were looking scratchy and couldn't get it together, and then Cass come back over the top of him, and you think, is this set up to get away from Hull KR?
And followed not long after that with what you boys identified pre-game as the foundations of this mid-season transformation, which is stern defence. You picked out one set in particular.
Yeah, they restricted Hull KR to just 26 metres in a set of 6, and in that was all of this DNA. It was off the back of a crossfield kick. And what Castleford did is tighten up and were just aggressive.
And Rob, isn't it? It's the man of the match, Kane Robb, who leads it with a big hit and then a low hit. And actually, they charged down the last kick as well. So OKR again might blame themselves. They don't get the last kick away. So it's a messy finish. And actually, the set after, they play the same play with Westerman and they come up with a knock-on, don't they? Yeah. And I think that's potentially where their opportunity to win this game was right there, and they missed it.
Yeah, they missed the chance, yeah.
Can you hear yourself think?
I can't hear anything.
There's not many of them, but
I feel like I'm in a pub in East
They
Hull
are loud.
right now.
Let's have a look at what gave them the greatest cheer of the night with Jez Litton's drop goal. Ultimately, what won the game for Hull KR. The first of his career, but it came from Broadbent's break.
This was vital. Look, you're not kicking a 1 point unless you've got field position. Broadbent's presence of mind. He'd actually milked a penalty through his legs in touch just before this, which was smart play, very cute with the rules. But Broadbent's break then got them into this position, and it's Jez Litton who slots it. It's a low strike, isn't it? But it went over. Jez Litton sat deep enough with enough help in front of him. Jacob Miller nearly gets there, Brian. It's a big effort from him. He nearly gets there, but that was the game, wasn't it?
It was, but it did end with Castleford on the attack and with a chance themselves maybe before a knock-on late in that game. Extinguished any opportunity they had to draw back level and maybe send the game to golden point extra time. What are the thoughts of Craig Lingard after this latest Castleford Tigers defeat? Here he is with Jenna.
Craig Lingard, that was yours for the taking. You just couldn't take it.
Yeah, just a little bit of, I don't know, just dropped off a little bit and a bit of game smarts towards the end of the game. Thought we showed a little bit of that last week against Wigan towards the end of the game, and then we had an opportunity down there right at the last set that we had the ball, and it took us 3 plays to get to points of a strike, and then we had to play the ball later. So it's pleasing but disappointing in the same breath, like it was last week. You know, I think we're getting there as a group and as a team, but it's just some game smarts towards the end of the game. We just need to clean up.
You mentioned Wigan there last week. To have a back-to-back performance, it was incredible, really. To do that, I mean, it must be so pleasing against 2 top 4 sides.
Yeah, it is 100%. So it's managing or balancing that disappointment with you know, being proud of the guys for doing that. Like I said previously, we spoke at the half-season review that we wanted to be a team that's difficult to beat and a team that doesn't go away. The last 2 weeks have shown that. But you know, the challenge this week was to do it again like we did last week. His challenge now is to do it against St Helens away, because last time we played St Helens down there, the spanked us backside. So we've got to make sure we manage that all the way through the season.
Just a word on your team's desire, because particularly these last 2 weeks, we've seen plenty of it out there.
Yeah, we have, and I think we've had that desire, but it's just been, I think sometimes when things go against you a little bit, you know, we had a lot of injuries towards the start of the season, you can sometimes feel sorry for yourself, and that can show in games sometimes, but certainly the last few games that we've played, we've been building slowly and slowly but surely, but the message that we're trying to get into these players, the ethos that we're trying to get into them, which is hard work and grafting and never say die and being desperate, I think it's starting to get there, you know, so we're seeing that in the players now.
Craig Lingard, bad luck tonight. Thank you for talking to us.
Cheers, thanks a lot. Cheers, Jan.
Well, there you've heard it from Craig Lingard. They are halfway through the season. He believes they are now starting to show some of the tenacity he thinks they need to get them through the rest of the season. Saints, London, Catalan, Salford and Lee coming up for the Castleford Tigers. It is quite the fixture list for him. Yes, wants to turn himself into a team that is tough to beat. Well, they were beaten tonight, 13-12, just by Hull KR, who with that victory, that single-point victory and the 2 competition points, go level on points at the top of the table with St Helens and Wigan, of course, having played 2 games more than the Warriors, the champions, and 1 game more than the table-topping Saints. Castleford stay in 10th. And of course, at this stage, you would say more than outsiders to trouble the playoff placings. Okay, that's 1 down, 5 to go in round 15 of the Betfred Super League. Let's do our 5 in 5, and let's start with what will be a very special and emotional night at AMT Headingley tomorrow as Leeds take on the Lee Leopards. We've got Rowan Smith having left Leeds. We've got the big Rob Burrow tribute show before this game, and we've got a Lee side that had that remarkable victory in the south of France. How do you see this one going?
Yeah, unfortunately for Leeds fans, I see this as a Lee victory. I think, like you said, they're in good form. They're a strong team. They're a big team now and aggressive as well. So, yeah, I see it being a wonderful occasion, if wonderful's the right word, and respectful. But I see a Lee victory on the pitch.
Lee have lost just 1 of their last 6. No bounce back from Leeds, bounce back factor after Rowan's departure?
Well, we were questioning whether Lee could get it done and actually get some games together and get into the playoffs. Well, they're doing everything that they can. I believe they'll be too strong for Leeds. Leeds look broken against Hull FC, like mentally in a bad place, and you know, I think it's going to be a struggle, but it's going to be an excellent occasion to celebrate Rob Burrow and all that he's done for the game.
It will indeed. Leeds, as a reminder, they came back from 16 down to beat Lee last time they met in Super League. Next up is Wigan against London. This is the Brick Community Stadium, the champions against the bottom of the table Broncos. I'm not sure how to, I mean, I'm sure I know who you think is going to win. What could London do to make it a difficult night for Wigan?
Nothing.
Chance their arm. And
have you got a better question?
No, I'm just saying it's going to be a cricket score.
Yeah.
It's a cricket score. It's going to be huge. Because Wigan weren't great. They'll want to... If Wigan had pumped Castleford here last week, I'd actually be a bit more optimistic that it's not going to be a blowout. I think they'll have been... Matty Pete would have been into them. Post-Challenge Cup. Let's make sure we're ruthless. It's going to be such... Look, it's not impossible. Things happen in sport. What a story it would be if London got a win there. Took them level with Hull FC.
Did you stick it in reverse now?
Well, it's a free hit for London, isn't it? But most teams play Wigan and it's a free hit as well, because they're the champions, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly.
OK, got a couple of games on Saturday that I think are intriguing. It's all going to start with Hull FC against Warrington. The Wolves, who you guys toppled in round 14. Hull FC, who beat Leeds, surprisingly, in round 14. This is one I think... I'm finding this difficult to separate, and these are two...
Really?
I really am. I'm... From a Warrington perspective, I'd be a little bit concerned. Your thoughts?
I'm not sure about that. I understand why you would say it's difficult to separate, and I get that. Although obviously buoyed with confidence, from the outside you would ask the question: what Warrington 3 losses in the row, and you'd question that their confidence and what they're doing. So I would just say Warrington will really focus out on getting back to what they were doing pre-losing streak, if you like.
If you're having none of my theory,
if Warrington lose, it's all on, isn't it? Because it's just, you know, with Sam Burgess's involvement, and then it looked like everything's going great. If they lose again, what does that do to the confidence? But I can't see it.
Both going for Warrington wins.
Yes.
Okay, then we're in the south of France. Now, both of these sides have won just one of their last 6 games, the Giants and the Catalan Dragons. It's hard to believe that if Huddersfield win, they move to within 2 of the Dragons.
These two teams are doing my head in. Like, they're absolutely doing my head in, because they've got a clear set opportunity to bustle the way into that top 6, and they've just been messing around, like not getting any form together, losing games that they should win. The form of Catalan has been tragic. Huddersfield's not been much better. I hope they understand that if just one of them has a push, they're a chance of getting in there.
Giants have won 5 of their last 6 in the south of France.
I think this is the type of game that Huddersfield like. You stick to the process if you like, and they play complete high, and they do all the statistic things really, really well. And there's got a bit of play in there as well. So I'm just
going Huddersfield.
I'm thinking Huddersfield.
You're going for Huddersfield. They had that big cup win there, of course, in the Challenge Cup earlier this year. Okay, you're on
Huddersfield.
All right. Both have gone for the Giants. That's the Dragons in a little bit of trouble, according to the lads. Final game is on Sunday. Salford. How are Salford Red Devils going to beat the Saints?
Well, you play St Helens, I say this every time. You've got to be ready for a physical battle as well as an emotional battle. So they've been the benchmark for the last decade. And we know, we've got to be mentally ready to play this game, and we respect St Helens, but we've had some good tussles with them over the last 2 or 3 years.
And a win earlier this year.
Yeah. You've got a win this year against them as well. So yeah, we're always confident, but we're fully respectful of what St Helens are about. It's going to be a great day. It's Armed Forces Day. It'll be a big crowd. I'm looking forward to it.
Ball movement. If you move the ball around, and I think they stress St Helens out actually by how they play. I think if they can do that, Salford are a chance. But I fancy St Helens. Do you know?
Oh, shock horror.
No, but I do. But I wish you all the best. No, I think.
Why? I'll give you. Tell me why then.
Well, I
tell him why.
I think if they turn up defensively and are aware of maybe Salford wanting to move the ball, I think they're so powerful. Yeah, like physically, you've just got to be good, and if you're not just off a bit, they'll get you. Why are you doing this, Brian? Why are you doing this? He's just sat back with a popcorn. It's not awkward. We can have a difference of opinion.
The bookies will say St Helens, and we understand why.
Yeah, of course.
But we understand why, because you're a Saints fan, you're a former Saints player, and everybody's aware of that. It's fine.
Listen, this project at Salford, keeping yourself where you're at. We know all the background to that as a club, and the battles that the club faces. How hard is it on you as a coach, or is it just something you just rub your hands together? You've spoken often about being a band of brothers with the playing group. Is it something you relish, this against the odds challenge that you seem to face every year?
Yeah, because that's the cards we've been dealt. So we have a set and whinge about it, or we turn it into a strength. And I think you've seen tonight with a team that is not fancied out on the pitch, but the opposition know that actually they can play a little bit, and we can play a little bit. So, but the pressure's always on the opposition. So we're a little bit carefree in that. But we set some high standards as well. So within our group, our standards are high, and like I say, we back ourselves.
If they continue, though, the pressure will not always be on the opposition. These men will start finding themselves as favourites.
Yeah, and my worry is for teams that have no resources, when you have a coach like Paul Rowley and he milks every ounce out of his players, that there's a time in where that runs out. We've seen it at Castleford, didn't we? You know what? I'm not
back
going
on that
there.
Leeds conversation.
I'm not going on the Leeds conversation. We'll do that again next week and the week after maybe. But there's a point at which that runs out of juice, and whether it's Paul moving on or a certain group of players, so it's difficult. And I admire Salford. I think they're an incredible club. What they achieve and what Paul's achieved as a coach, I think it's truly remarkable, and it's testament, like, you can know your stuff, but you can get a group of men to trust you and buy into what the message you're delivering. And that's maybe the biggest skill that Paul's had.
Well, there you go. That's high praise indeed. Congratulations, Paul Rowley. Okay, and we thank you very much for being our guest here on Sky Sports. Here's a reminder of what we've got coming up. I said it's a very, very special night tomorrow on Sky Sports. We're at Headingley for the Rob Burrow #7, a tribute show, pre-Leeds versus Lee. We're on air at 7 p.m. on Sky Sports Action and Sky Showcase. Of course, it is tomorrow, the Global MND Awareness Day. Every day, 6 people are diagnosed with motor neuron disease. Every day, 6 people die of the disease. There is no cure. Your support will help change that. Please scan the QR code on screen or go to www.mndassociation.org/Sky Sports to help donate. On air, 7 p.m. with an extensive build-up in a tribute to Rob Burrow. His family will be there as well. We'll have Danny Maguire, Danny Badiris, Ali Lawatiti, and a number of other very special guests. Do hope you can join us again, 7 p.m. Sky Sports Action and Sky Showcase. There is, of course, another Super League game tomorrow. The champions Wigan in action against the London Broncos. That one for you, if you want, is at 5 to 8 on Sky Sports Arena. I do hope we see you tomorrow at AMT Headingley, and if not, on Sky Sports. I hope you can join us. Thanks to John Wilkin, and our special thanks to Salford Red Devils head coach Paul Rowley for his time here today. Till next time, here on Sky Sports. Bye-bye.
Sky Sports. Feel it all.